We're live.
You know that because I'm coughing.
Right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and watching our Monday Night Draw live stream. This week, we're going to be drawing Red Sonja, which I'm thrilled about. And, you know, I would be lying if I said I didn't mention that because I'm not doing Red Sonja because we have a Red Sonja Indiegogo campaign going on right now. I'm going to show some stuff from that. I'm sure most of you guys have already seen it, but
so support the Indiegogo, people.
Yes, please. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. And actually, I think we're going to have Nick Rucci back on soon. I think next week.
So support the Indiegogo, people.
I'm saying that without confirming it with Nick, so I could get in trouble for that.
I confirmed it.
Did you? Okay, we're confirmed. Good. So he will actually be on. He's really good at, you know, articulating why, because I would really
why
like
you should support the Indiegogo, people.
Oh, and Eric Grove is here. Eric says, back David's Red Sonja cover on Indiegogo. Thank you, Eric. Eric actually, so Eric and I have been, you know what, your microphone, I've got a little louder than mine. Not that I'm
shouting into it.
You're
so
naturally loud anyway.
I am naturally a projector.
Eric and I have been working together for a while on Eric's art. And I don't know if any of you guys have really seen it from the Discord.
Oh, sorry.
And please consider joining the Discord if you're not on there. Jordan Seward's here. He just said hi. I wanted to say hi. El Padrino is here. It's great to see Artsy Designs. You know, all you guys that you know, all you guys, really, I'm thrilled to have you. And
one mighty names because everybody's
Alpin,
here.
I know everybody's
all
here.
All the people who never
Art
show
Jedi's
up on
here.
the chat.
Yeah.
But still come every week.
I can't tell you how good it makes both of us feel to, you know, see you guys back here every week and, you know, spending some time with us.
And that's why I'm going to give you this responsibility.
Phil Finch is here.
Finch Flock.
Blake Goldstein's here. Hi, Blake.
You're talking over me.
Sorry. But Blake Goldstein's here. Neil Durkin. Jordan. I'll stop.
Talking over me.
Okay.
Because I have to give the Finch Flock a responsibility this week. It's garbage night.
We haven't put it out yet.
Have not put it out yet. Don't let us forget. Don't let us forget.
So actually, and I always end up lately showing my layout. See if I can get it over here. Got so much stuff in the way. My desk is full of junk.
Oh, Kenny Wang. I love Kenny Wang. Kenny Wang says, Dave, I saw your beautiful face in a Proco thumbnail for the 12 days of Proco.
Oh, that's great.
Absolutely right. So go online and 12 days of Proco. They've got all kinds of amazing artists. Dave being one of them. You're doing cross-hatching. This is something that people have asked for on the YouTube channel. So now you can get it.
Yeah, I just saw, I'm sorry, Meredith. I saw somebody say, not new to the stream, but new to commenting. And I was going to say, and then it went by and I missed it. And I don't want to miss it because, you know, that's nice. Here it is, Zatanna. Anyway, thank you, Zatanna. Okay, so this is the layout. There you go. That's the layout. Oh, and actually, I do want to show. So I got my XM Studios Batman Sanity statue, and I put it up in the background here. But you can see, just looking at the shot, actually, my camera's a little bit like... Next stream, I'll have to fix it. Anyway, like the whole shot's a little... From the camera's a little shifted. You're looking at me like I'm nuts. Okay, anyway. So I set it up back there, and it was not visible at all. But I really do want to show you guys.
That means Meredith might have to move on the couch.
Right. Are you willing to do that?
For the stream.
Thank you.
Not right now, though. I just got cozy.
We'll show it later on.
I just got cozy.
All right.
We'll do it. It's part of the 9 o'clock.
There you go. All right. Oh, and I have a very special book of the week this week. I'm very excited about it. It's you know what, I feel like with the stuff that I've been showing, it's all very it's all stuff that's really influential for me, but it's also stuff that is not really what, you know, excited me when, wow, I want to get into comics because of this, you know. And so I've got some stuff that
you say you're not showing the stuff that made you excited.
When I first wanted to draw.
Okay, this is Leslie's book.
Actually, no.
Well, then you'd been telling me lies my whole life.
But so it is Leslie's book. Okay, you know what? You'll see.
I'm just going to move
Meredith,
to the first.
It's right over here. Don't say what it is.
No, I'm not going to. But it's not the book that you've been telling me your whole life about. I'm going to move to a super chat since you've been lying to me, and I feel betrayed. Tagamo Model Works has a super chat for $5. Tagamo says, I'm here too. I've almost finished watching all your vids here on YouTube.
Oh, thank you so much, Tagamo. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Now
And I don't know if everybody knows this, but Dave's car video is almost at 230,000 views, which is, what's it been up for a month?
I guess, yeah,
That is insane.
Well, certainly, I mean, for some people that's like not a big, but I mean, for us, it's like, it's crazy.
That's insane.
By far and away.
I mean, we're celebrating that.
Yeah.
We're not so jaded that we can't celebrate our victories.
No, I'm really thrilled. And it also means that the channel has actually been growing quicker lately.
I'm still putting 100,000 out there by the end of the year.
No.
That means, people, we need 19.6 thousand subscribers.
Yeah, in the next 20 days. 23 days.
Oh yeah,
no problem.
We can do it. 24 days.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Really lately, I would say we have not been getting, we've been getting maybe almost even 4.
Almost viral video.
Over a week,
we can do this.
No, it's whatever. Anyway, it's going fast, which I'm thrilled about. So,
All right. Next super chat comes from Jack of Hall for $10. Thank you so much, Jack.
Much.
One of my first favorite albums was Indestructible by Disturbed, and I saw that you were credited as doing the cover art, which I love.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
If the rumor's true, how did that come about?
Okay, so I got an email from the art designer, and I want to say, they really desperately wanted me to do it. And I was like, no, that's not how it happened. They actually approached, I think it was a grand total ultimately of 13 different artists. They said, just let's see what you can do with it and everything. And I was thrilled because I'm a huge fan. So, I was pretty much willing to do whatever they wanted. And so I did just a black and white drawing, and they liked it. So they picked it, which was amazing. I couldn't believe it. And so I went back and forth with the album designer. It was Matt Varnish was the designer of the album quite a bit. And then I talked to the band. And again, now I wish I could say, we all got into this room and it had like this cool lighting and we're all like smoking. No, it just didn't happen that way. It was like a conference call, and it was pretty quick. So I didn't actually really.
He was upstairs. Working in his studio.
I was, but I got to talk to them, which I thought was very, very cool. And I do think, I could have maybe said, hey, I'd love to be able to go backstage or something. I think they would have said yes, but it never happened. Anyway, I had an amazing time doing the album cover, and they're such an incredible band. Actually, one of your favorite songs, which, if you can believe it, Meredith likes the Disturbed song. It's the
Sound of Silence.
Simon and Garfunkel song, which I also love. It's a great song.
It's a great cover. Great cover. And I actually sing it pretty well, which you couldn't tell right now.
Because you can't do it?
My coffee voice.
Oh, I was going to say, no, we can't tell, because if you do it, we're all...
I can't sing it, but I do sing it pretty well, I think. It fits my range all right.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, this comment right here is why Eric is
I was talking about Eric.
Best moderator ever. Because Eric says, as I'm scrolling through the chat, Eric Grovart, check the 12 days of Proco here. David will be covering cross-hatching. Eric, we mentioned something instantly. Yeah. Eric has a link.
I got so much stuff. There's a lot going on right now. So I've got covers that I'm, behind on. Again, I'm doing Walking Dead covers, which is a huge blast. I can't tell you. I have a new Marvel cover that I'm just going to be starting. Very excited about that.
12 Days of Proco?
12 Days of Proco. My actual work that,
Red
the actual
Sonja
book.
Cover, did you say that?
Red Sonja cover, which we have available on Indiegogo, and I'll, bug you guys with that in a minute. I wanted to say, though, so I've been working with Eric, who is, nearing my favorite person on earth, beside, you, Meredith, of course. And so...
I make you dinner.
Eric,
you want to make Dave dinner, you may get get replaced.
Eric is doing some beautiful artwork. You can see it on Discord. He does a lot of stuff with painted work, with I want to say what's the one on the iPad? I'm the worst. Anyway, great stuff. And so we've been kind of going back and forth and working on his stuff. And I got an email from him today. So I did some just really simple thumbnail layouts. I've never tried this before. I thought it'd be really cool just to try some super simple figures, just really loose sketches, and say, just go with it and, see what you can do to finish them and see how it comes out. Because his thumbnail sketches are looking incredible. and we've been kind of working with Frazetta a little bit. Anyway, they looked incredible. Procreate, thank you. Yes, David, thank you very much. And Sean Miller. So yeah, anyway, Eric, you're doing incredible. I couldn't believe it. I'm actually, you got to see it, Meredith. I was really
I'm
amazed.
excited. We have a lot of first timers here tonight. Sky Martin, first time watching the stream. Somebody else, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find, like, there were a few people I've seen that were like, this is my first time on the stream.
Oh, well, that's great. Thank you, everyone,
awesome for coming and joining.
Absolutely.
Our next super chat comes from Brandon Spence for $10. Brandon says, hey, Dave, it's been a while.
Hi, Brandon. Thank you very much.
Just want to tell you that you were my thoughts when I was going through a rough time and thinking about quitting graphic design. But remembering your story inspired me.
Well, I don't know what to say. I'm really glad. You know, it is so worth it, and it is for everyone doing this kind of job, and not just everyone doing this kind of job. All of you that are working on your own artwork and you haven't gotten work yet, that is the hardest. It's never harder than that. The self-doubt that you go through during that period, I remember it was a real struggle for me. And you just worry, you know, all the stuff that I'm doing, is it a waste? Am I kidding myself? And you'll have your family being supportive, but also being very concerned that you're kidding yourself. And it takes a lot of, determination. And I think, you know, if there's anything that I hope I could provide aside from, you know, helping with the art itself, is just the inspiration to keep working on it, because it is so absolutely worth it. And to stop because it's, it can be heartbreaking and difficult, and you can run into roadblocks. You know, the amount of incredibly talented, and I've said this for a long time. Actually, you know what? I think I'm zoomed in. I've said this for a long time because I'm not a good person all the time. I said, you know what?
It's true. I can vouch for him.
There are so many
a good person.
Outrageously talented artists out there, so much more talented than the artists that are doing incredibly well, that don't ever get there. And they don't because self-doubt breaks you down, and just, you know, the work, the schedule, and just, you know, the discipline that it takes. And it does take discipline. And if there's anything that I could do, I would want to encourage you to, you know, actually, we had dinner with friends. I'm going to say this quickly and I'll move on.
Blah, blah, blah.
We had dinner with friends a couple weeks ago, and Meredith's friend said, you know, you got me coughing, said,
share the wealth,
you know, and this is worse for me because I'm bad with this one, but it's being thin and, you know, working on, like, you know, your calories and all that stuff, because that's something I'm struggling with right now.
Choose your hard.
Is hard. But, you know, being heavy and making it difficult to move around is hard, and you have to choose your hard. And, you know, pursuing a career in art is hard, but wasting your talent is hard, and choose your hard. And I think that's an easy choice. Sorry, Meredith, go on.
That's all right. I just want to say, because I said there were a few other people who were new this week.
Yeah. David,
that's his name. Oh, my first time here. I love your stuff, man. And also Daniel Carrere, who last week won the Harley drawing. Says, I just started live chatting last week and I won my Harley drawing. And apparently this is a week I'm going to butcher more names, because Tagama was just like, you can just call me Tag. I totally butchered his name.
And I'm assuming Tagama was also, that's how you said it before?
I don't know.
Okay, well, thank you, Tag.
Yeah. We're just calling him Tag now. Rike Ingles 123 says 50,000 of that Cars video. 50,000 of those views were him.
Well, we all owe it all to you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
I can't remember her costume exactly. Shoot.
All right. If you have not subscribed, this feels like an appropriate time as I scroll through the chat to see. Now's the time. Click subscribe. Click the like button. I can't believe we only have 389 people watching you draw Red Sonja, because, you know, it's Red frickin' Sonja. But apparently there aren't that many Conan fans.
I'd say 389 people is a good number. And I always find, too, that for whatever reason, it always takes a bit to, like,
we're 15 minutes in.
Yeah, we are. You're trying to demoralize me and say, oh, you know, nobody's watching you. Is that what you're doing?
That's what I'm trying to do, demoralize you.
This is why we get along so well.
That's my job. Sheldon Martin is calling me Meredith the Name Butcher Finch. I think I'm gonna get that tattooed, Sheldon. It's true. Like, I do my best. They don't come with pronunciation like they do in the dictionary. And honestly, is it just me, or those dictionary pronunciation cues seem incredibly difficult? Like, you got to really think about it, and I don't have time to think about anything. So
yeah.
Michael Johnson Curry has a super chat for $4.99. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Michael.
thank you,
Michael
Michael
wants to know, how do you separate legitimate critiques from comments of people just trying to hurt you or being too overly analytical and getting conflicting tips? I think there's a point at which you have to be critical of yourself.
Yeah,
and
but
I think you need to, like,
because,
I know for my writing, when somebody, in the way in which the critique is phrased, if it seems appropriate or not. Like, I'm like, yeah, I think that's true. Like, you have to be a little bit self-critical. And there's sometimes when people are just attacking, where you can go, I don't think that's fair. There's a balance. I think if somebody can give you a balance of here's what's good, here's what's bad.
Well,
does that make sense?
Yes. I don't actually know exactly where the line is on that. And that is a really good question, because, criticism can also just tear you down. And some criticism is designed to do that. So, yeah, I would say probably the best policy is to take it seriously and analyze it, and decide whether you think it's true, but don't just disregard it. And also look at things like, I've mentioned this before, but when I was at Marvel drawing Avengers, all of my foreheads were very short and the top of my head was too shortened. It was something that I was doing consistently, and finally Tom Brevoort, who's an incredibly supportive editor. I mean, he was great. I think he finally, because he was being supportive, he didn't want to just say, this is wrong and that's wrong. He finally said, yeah, you need to take a look at that. And I remember being so upset about it, and I thought, you're so full of it. Like, what are you even talking about? And then I fixed it. I thought, I'm going to try it. And the minute I fixed it, then I could see it. And, so it was true. But then I've also, and certainly, especially during the message board days, like, you go to comic book resources and they'd have the message board, and I got a lot of hate on there. Avengers was a very popular book. It's very fashionable to hate everything that I do. And that was a hard time for me. And some of the critiques that I got, honestly, were legitimate, even though, they were not coming from a good place. So I think you can get something out of criticism that is not designed to be helpful, but you do have to be careful, because you want to avoid criticism that's just saying your stylistic choices are all wrong. I do think that it's easier to get work if you work in a style that people are more comfortable with, but there's a price to be paid with that. And, actually, I remember talking to Michael a few weeks ago and saying that, it is true. It's easier to get work at Marvel or DC if you're doing something that's more in the lines of like Ivan Rice or the kind of stuff that they're publishing. And now I'm totally contradicting myself and saying that's bad advice.
Well,
there you go.
I guess it just depends on what side of the bed you woke up on that day.
I always mean well.
No advice is 100%. There's no, like...
The thing is, there's validity in criticism, kind of no matter where it's coming from. It's just a matter of it's not necessarily helpful. And I think, if you have a vision of what you want your art to be, then it's easier to know what's helpful and what's not. At the same time, you always have to be coming from a place where you're trying to get better, and looking at the things that you don't do as well. Like, let's say it's hands, or let's say it's backs, or the kinds of things that I really struggled as if I totally overcame that stuff.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think you have to be really focusing on that stuff. Also, something I've learned, when I look at an artist and I look at it and I think, wow, that looks incredible. Like, I think that's better than what I can do. Well, it is. It's not just your imagination, and don't take that as something to beat yourself up with. Try and take it from them. See what you can get from it. Experiment with it. Swipe it. Right.
I didn't mean that.
Wait, I think hopefully everybody knows what you mean.
All right. Eric believes is with me. Eric says, I have a feeling Dave can get to 100,000 subs by Christmas. He's even pushing it by Christmas, Dave. So
yeah,
that might be.
You know what? It's growing.
End of the year.
It's growing. I'm glad for that.
But I'll move on to the next super chat, which comes from Ed Ergel for $4.99.
Thank you very much, Ed.
Hey, Dave, inking your Brightest Day 7 cover with Dead Man. Just finished the Energy Trail / Smoke. Could you have done more frickin' rain? I added the frickin' part because clearly you had a lot of rain.
Here's my advice. I don't know how so I'm not an inker. So take this with a grain of salt. I've got this big wire right in I don't think there's any way to avoid it. The way that I always do rain is I just draw everything all the way through. I just finish it. And then I just draw lines right through it and use whiteout.
That's what you do now.
That's what I do. That's actually what I did with pencil too, though.
Yeah, you use your eraser.
Right.
All right. Next super chat comes from Andreas Angulo for €5. Andreas says, hello, Finches. I hope y'all are having a wonderful Monday. I'm struggling finishing a page, but I'll work through it listening to the best art show.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Andreas. I really appreciate it. That's what I do all the time. Nothing like it's like Rich Friend has by the way, there are a couple of people I'd really like to just shout out. Rich Friend being one. He's got a
I need a mute button.
Here, hold on. It doesn't matter. Good? Okay. So Rich Friend has a YouTube channel. I'd highly recommend you guys check that out. And he works and talks sometimes, and I can just listen to him go for, an hour. I wish he would do longer videos, actually, because I'm sitting here working and, then the video ends, and next thing you know, I've got to search for another one. The other one that I really wanted to recommend is Francis Manipool. I don't know if any of you guys are aware that he has a YouTube channel. I actually have it on my homepage. You list some channels that, I don't know, you follow, whatever. Anyway, he's a featured channel on my homepage. He hardly has any followers on YouTube, and his videos are absolutely incredible. Now, he hasn't been doing it long, and there's a bit of a gap. He's a busy guy, but he is such a, Francis. I mean, he's such a nice guy.
Francis who? Of course I know.
And
Francis.
Really incredible videos, like beautiful stuff. And I would really recommend you guys give him a try. I think it's absolutely, you know what? I started this YouTube channel actually 6 years ago, and nobody saw any of it. Like I kind of stopped because nobody was seeing any of the videos really.
He was sad. Nobody was watching.
But that's YouTube. You kind of have to build an audience, and I feel like I cheated because I disappeared for years, and slowly I got enough people that when I came back, there was some people to watch, which was great. And I think Francis is going through that. Just nobody knows he has a YouTube channel, and you guys are missing out. So please give it a try.
Do you know what we call that in our house?
What?
We call that divine intervention. Setting something up, walking away from it, and then ultimately reaping a reward from it that you never intended to reap.
Well, and I really have Jimmy Reyes to thank for that too.
Not Jimmy. We're not thanking Jimmy.
We're thanking Jimmy because I wouldn't
Nobody thank Jimmy.
I wouldn't be doing this YouTube channel if it weren't for Jimmy. He's the one, actually, he had me on his show.
Bad Jimmy.
Which I had a great time with. And I thought, this was it was a lot of fun. And he said, you're like all right on the stream, and he said, I don't know if you're aware, you have like 11,000 people on your YouTube channel. And I said, really? Like, I had no idea. And so I thought, wow, it's foolish to not try and do something with that. And so, yeah, I'm here.
That's why it's bad Jimmy.
Ed Ergel says, no, thanks, Jimmy. Gustav says, thanks, Jimmy.
Jimmy, this is what I'm spending every Monday night doing this. It's all Jimmy's fault.
Oh, is that why?
Yep.
You're bitter? Yeah.
I'm sorry for my coughing. I apologize.
Yeah, you're a little coffee today.
Bad tonight. I think I'm tired. It was a long weekend.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of things that we have going on.
Anybody who's not aware, we sold our house.
Yeah,
over the weekend.
Sold it yesterday.
It was exhausting.
So I've been outside of the house. We all have, for
4 days.
4 days, and it went quickly. Thankfully, I mean, we cannot be upset. But yeah, I haven't been able to be in the house at all, and so it's been very stressful. And so when it closed yesterday and we were done, It's a big thing.
Hallelujah. Can I do
Yes.
that? That's like old. That's old school, right?
I think
That's,
you're good there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's Mozart. So
I'm not sure exactly who would
it's
you know,
Mozart.
issue a claim on that one.
That's right. He's dead. Nick from Detroit says you need to put my cough on a hotkey.
We don't need to. We get it all the time anyway.
I've been pretty good lately, actually, but for whatever reason today.
Yeah.
It's cold outside. I was outside.
Yeah, you're at the barn all
I
afternoon.
was at the barn all afternoon. I haven't been there for 5 days. Woo! I had some sassy horses. They needed to run. There was lots of bucks thrown, which was why I was not riding anybody today. Even the injured pony was like trying to run around me like a crazy person. All right. Do. Oh, did Jimmy get married? Sheldon Martin says, did Jimmy get married yesterday?
Yeah, well,
He
was
did,
it yesterday? He actually, and again, I haven't been home. I just this morning saw an email from him. He said, "Hey, do you want to come on the stream? It's the last stream before he gets married." And I haven't been home. I have a cell phone. I never use it. So when I'm out of the house, I'm on a different planet. So
when we move and we don't get a new phone line, it's gonna be bad.
We're not getting a new phone line? Really?
We don't need a landline. Do we need a landline?
Yeah.
I guess if you want to get in touch with you, they do. Poop Dealer says, "What's up, guys? Hey, Meredith and Dave. Just want to say I'm about to work at a comic publishing company as an artist soon, and it's all because of Dave.
Well, not all because of me, but
I'm
that
very
is
grateful
really
for
great.
you. My dream is here. Congratulations, Poop Dealer.
Congratulations. That's incredible. I'm assuming you're not going to sign your work, Poop Dealer, but that's really great. That's great to hear.
That's awesome. Everybody says congratulations on the sale. Thanks,
Oh yes,
guys.
thank you. Well, hopefully, Poop Dealer will come on when he has a little bit done. I'd love
and he can tell us where he's working.
Yeah, be great to see some of it.
All right. Delmar says, new here, was wondering what you do with your Monday night drawings after you finish them. Some of them are commissions. Some of them go up for sale on Dave's website, davidfinchart.com.
Right. That's true. And every once in a while we do a charity one. We did a charity one for Chadwick Boseman. It actually was for cancer, just when he passed. So that happens sometimes too. And yeah, it definitely depends.
Henry Jeremick says, Meredith, last week when you were saying all of Ditko's characters, I said, wow, look at Meredith go. She really knows her stuff. Just next time, just roll with it. Don't say I Googled it. I can't help but be honest. I don't want Pete to pretend that I'm something that I'm not. Like Cliff Clavin. Does anybody, like, old people know who Cliff Clavin is?
Yeah.
If you're young, you don't know who Cliff Clavin is.
Yeah, I'm tempted to do a Cliff Clavin and explain who he is.
Don't do it. We'll see if people know. Excuse me. We'll see if people know who Cliff Clavin is. Brad Frederick says, Dave, are you going to crowdfund a book in 2021?
No.
If Dave doesn't, Meredith will.
Yes. So, okay, I've got a book that I'm working on right now. I've been working on it for ages. I'm putting my heart and soul and everything that I've got into this thing, and it will be out. It's starting to come together. We're starting to get to the point where I can see the finish line a little bit, in the distance, and that one won't be okay. I don't know. I'll put it this way: it's not my department, so yeah, I shouldn't say anything because I really don't actually know what the plan is.
Okay, here's a good question from Ferris Jabbar. Dave, considering retail comic stores are shutting down and DC and Marvel are gearing their business models elsewhere, what is the legitimacy for independent artists being able to have a feasible career? I just did, and the reason I love this comment was because I just did a live stream event with the Charles Schultz Museum on Wonder Woman, and it was with Gail Simone. This was one of the questions that came up. And I feel like this is actually one of the greatest times to be in comics because there's so many other methods of getting your work out there, like Webtoons and Kickstarter and Indiegogo and all kinds of small press publishers, that you don't need the big two to have a legitimate career anymore.
You don't. Now, here's what because I think about this a lot, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is part of the reason why I'm doing YouTube, which is part of the reason why you guys really hope, I hope you guys support the Red Sonja campaign, but I think we're entering a period right now where a good portion of the industry is crowdfunding, and some people are really doing incredibly with it, which is great. It takes a bit more of a business mind. Thankfully, Meredith kind of has a good business mind. I really don't. I think that what's going to happen, I think that Marvel and DC will recover, and I think that they'll be back. They're here now, but it's a tough time with retailers right now, and I sincerely hope that we get over this time and that as many retailers as possible can pull through. And I certainly feel for ones that can't. I think that we may be looking at a period in the future very soon where we end up with something that's a bit more of a European model, where you've got more of a graphic novel kind of a format instead of a monthly comic format. And I've wanted to see that for years, and I think that this might spur it on. I just don't think so many people are having so much success with crowdfunding. There is an audience for comics. Comics are relevant. I think that they're as relevant as they ever have been, and I don't see that people won't take advantage of that. And I think that we'll see changes coming forward, but I think it will be positive in the end for most people. And that's the thing. Like it's hard to do a happy dance. Like, oh yeah, things are going to be great, because for not everyone.
Well, not great for comic book stores.
That's the thing. Yeah, and
that sucks.
I know some retailers, and they're
struggling
really,
right now, especially with the COVID, and they're not struggling with the changes that are being made at Marvel and DC, like DC cutting the line back, but they're struggling with the fact that are they open or are they not open with this global pandemic? The amount of customers they're allowed to have in their stores are limited. I know in Ontario there are places where they're not even allowed to be open at times, like comic book conventions. I think I just saw another comic book convention that was geared for, what was it, Denver?
Yeah.
I think that got just canceled 2021 show. Like it's.
Yeah, and I think they had no choice. And it's convention promoters right now are like, there are people that are losing everything.
So it's not good.
And yeah, for me, and I would say for artists, I really started doing YouTube. I'm really enjoying it a lot. Like I'm enjoying it just for itself.
I love the regularity of what we're doing.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, I'm so tired. And then once we get downstairs, we're like, oh, this is so much fun.
You're having a good time, right?
I would have a good time. I actually feel like I should read the next couple super chats.
Okay.
We're doing this. Now I'm going to apologize because I know I'm not going to get this name right.
Here we go.
J. Hosoya, Hosioja, Hosoya. That's my best guess. 10 euros. Thank you so much, JH.
Thank you very much, Jay.
First time seeing the stream live as you stream around 3 a.m. finish time.
Oh, yeah, he's in Europe,
finished,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask if you could do pencils during streams slightly more frequently. I find it more useful for learning purposes. Thanks.
Okay, so Jay,
I
haven't done pencils in a while.
In forever.
There is actually a reason for that. The reason I haven't done pencils for a while is I've been having trouble with resolution. There's only so much resolution that I can get with our internet connection right now. That's just a fact. And so pencils, I find, are not really showing up as well as I would like at a lower resolution. When we move, fingers crossed that we will have
a few short months. Who would have thought?
Yeah,
it's going to come sooner rather than later. Because how long have we been doing the live stream for? I'm putting it out to the stream. How many episodes have we done? Does anybody know?
26 with this one.
26?
Yeah.
So that's only like 5 months.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been long. Like it's
26 times 4, 6 months.
Anyway,
26 divided by 4 is 26. Yeah. So 6 months.
I really would like to do more pencils, and I mean, I'm a penciler ultimately.
That was June. We started doing this in June, or just July, June. That's crazy. All right.
Longer than you thought.
Longer than I thought. All right, we have another super chat, which I need to read, and then I'll go back to the stream. Jack of Hall is a super chat for $5. I just want to say thank you for being an inspiration. Most days it's hard to put pencil to page, but your videos make it happen. Thank you so much, Jack of Hall. I also feel like I missed a super chat from Greg L. Somewhere on here. There's one from Sheldon. How is this happening that I'm missing? Yes, here's a Greg L. Art super chat for $2. Hey guys, sorry, fun's still low, but I'm here. Hey Greg, don't you worry. We love you guys. You don't have to super chat for us to love you.
Yeah.
We love you all. I incorporate you into my family. I hate it when my chat blips and I miss it. CTC Firebird has a super chat for $5. Hey Finches, how do you control your line weights?
Okay. So is that showing up? All right. I don't need really the detail of the face so much here. So I'm drawing a head. Here it is. And a shoulder. And this is my panel border. And then in the background, I'll draw another person.
Your mom thinks you look flushed. Do you have a fever? Clearly your mom's watching the stream. She just texted me.
Oh, hi, Mom. I might, you know what? I don't know.
Feel hot and flushed? Do you feel feverish?
No, I feel all right.
It's all the lights.
Maybe my colors, like, I don't mean my color. Maybe my color's off, but maybe just the camera. I need to white balance it. Okay.
I'm not taking good care of you. All right, answer the question now.
Okay, so here's two figures, one standing in front of the other. And so I'm going to use line weights. So here's like a nice thicker line weight on this guy here. I'm not going to shadow anything here because it's really all about the line weights. I want them when if my light's coming from above if I have a form like this, the side away from the light, like this is pointing up more toward the light and this is pointing away. So this is going to be thicker and that'll be thinner. That's really, it's a very simple thing. So here's my guy in the foreground. I'll go thicker with his, so I'll be about there. I don't want to be thick up here because that's where the light is, up there. And then for the guy in the background, I'll just do the same thing. I just won't go quite as thick with it. And this happens to me quite a bit. So let me just quickly, kind of finish this guy in here. I mean, obviously this is a crappy loose sketch. So there you go. That would pretty much work. Now, if I want to have a background, let's say I've got, a doorway here and another, wall here. I'll put a window here and a bunch of detail, like buildings, whatever. If I start to put some line weights in there, it can make these line weights seem a little thin. And so I'll shore that up to bring it forward from the background. And then I end up actually making this a little thicker to bring it forward from this guy, which I've made thicker. And so it's a bit of a push and pull at times for me. I find if it's a single figure, I don't end up pushing and pulling much. But if it's a lot of figures, I'll end up with a really thick line on a foreground figure. So you really want to think in terms of foreground, middle ground, and background, going thinner as you go back, making sure to keep your line weights. Here's a circle. My line weight's going to be thicker at the bottom here, thinner toward the top. And that keeps it airy, even though you have line weights. So you don't end up with something like, if you just go thick all the way through, it starts to really look illustrative. And I've seen artists actually do that incredibly well. It was a popular thing in the 90s. There was Adam Hughes was doing it a little bit. There were some artists that were doing it and making it look beautiful. It's just a different style. So there you go.
All right. Next super chat comes from Sheldon Martin for $5. Sheldon wants to know, hey, Dave, when you're working on a comic you write yourself, how long does it take to thumbnail? And do you thumbnail the whole comic first?
If I'm working on a comic myself, I generally don't thumbnail most things. I thumbnail covers because I have to be able to turn it in and say, this is what I'm going to do. But if I don't have to turn it in, what I'll do is, so I've got this right here is a page, and you can see it's got, I'm going to grab another page. I want to show you exactly how I do this.
Oh no, it's blank.
Okay.
I'll do a hand dance.
I'm knocking white lights around. All right.
Can you see my hands?
I don't know if they can. With the view that I've got right now, I can't tell what people can see. All right.
Oh yeah, you can see my hands. I'm slightly delayed.
All right. So
You can see the top of my head too. That's unfortunate.
all right. So for a page, this line here is where the page gets cut. This line here is where you draw out to. This is where the printer will cut it. And that's why it says trim. You can't read that here. It's too far away, but it says trim.
Can you push it up to the camera?
Take my word for it. It says trim. And then the middle one, or the inner one, this one here is where you put your actual panels. So you draw all the way out to the edge if you want it to bleed. And by bleed, I mean that when you look at a comic page, if you want the artwork to come right off the edge of the page, then you have to draw past where they cut the page. Otherwise, it's a mess. So this is your actual panels. And I'm going to say, okay, I want 3 panels along the top. And this is the way I do it. Let's say I've got a 6-panel page. And so I'm going to draw a panel here. My halfway point is here. It's easy to see because I've got the delineations on the page. So and I'm just really quickly roughing in panels. And then here's my bottom panels. I'm off the camera, I know, but take my word for it. And then I'm going to say, okay, so there's my panels. I've got a close-up. And so here's my head. He's looking out this way. And then my next panel, maybe I want to do a shot where you're looking down at them. And the script will determine this too. So here's one guy here. Here's another guy here. And so I'll just sketch them in really quickly and loosely. I'm just getting placement. Maybe you'll see some beams in the ceiling. I can frame them with whatever it is. It doesn't matter. And then, the next panel, I'll show the other guy. And so you'll see the other guy talking. And since this guy's pointed this way, this guy's pointed this way because they're talking back and forth. There you go. That's how I lay out pages. This is a simple one, obviously, because it's people talking. If I have somebody fighting, like in the next panel, maybe this guy is going to punch him. And so,
like I just punched the microphone.
Right. So here we go.
Accidentally on purpose.
His arms through here, arg, and the other guy's flying back. His mouth is open. And you can see I'm drawing really simple garbage stuff just to get my placement. Here's his other hand. It's a mess. You can't even tell what I'm doing here, but I'm doing it for myself. And because I'm laying it out so ridiculously loosely, I can do it on a page like this. And I don't have to do this tiny little thing and make it all detailed. It's too much work. I'm too lazy. So there you go. That's how I lay out a page in a really simple sense. I am doing something very in depth with this that will be, more in depth.
More in depth.
Right. But there you go. That's.
All right. Next super chat comes from Jack of Hall. Thank you again, Jack, for $5. Jack says, I just want to say thank you for being an inspiration.
Well, thank you very much, Jack.
Most days, it's hard to put the pencil to the page, but your videos make it happen.
I'm so glad. Thank you very much, Jack. And I think it's very easy to not realize if you don't draw a lot, just how hard it can be because it's so enjoyable. And I'm sure Jack would tell you how much he loves drawing and he loves doing it. But it can be very, very difficult to be motivated all the time to draw.
I love writing, but right now I'm having a hard time getting started.
There you go. Yeah, it can be hard. So, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I want to thank Artsy Bible Nerd Bill. Thanks for clicking the like button before he was asked. And all 363 people who also clicked the like button before they were asked. Everybody click the like button. 542 watching, 363 likes. Let's get some more likes, people. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed already so you don't miss out on any of Dave's awesome videos like that viral car one. Insane.
You actually sounded almost like a professional. It's pretty good.
Sometimes. I'm tired. That's what happens. It's like the tired. There's all your reservations fall away.
Going with it.
And you just roll.
Well, that was pretty good. I got to say, I was impressed.
Actually, I felt like I was just rambling. So there you go.
I thought that was great.
I was rambling and you were impressed. Different strokes for different folks. I also want to say we have started like some cheers dialogue happening on the stream. Do we like Cheers? Do we like Cliff Clavin? Do we not like Cliff Clavin? And for the young people, he's the voice of the T-Rex. No, was he the T-Rex or the pig in Toy Story? He's the pig.
I want to say the pig, but
I think he's the pig.
Yeah.
He's been every Pixar movie ever has him in it. There you go. And And that came from the stream, not from me. Just a reminder for me from the stream.
Yeah.
Igor Marcus.
He was also in one of the Star Wars movies. He was like one of the little guys at the screen before he made it big.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, maybe it's some. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Nobody listens to Dave. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't think I'm wrong.
Igor Marcus wants to know, how do you do cross-hatching? I have a lot of trouble with it. Igor, you must be late joining the stream because, dun dun dun, 12 days of Proco. Dave is doing a Proco video on cross-hatching.
It's coming right up.
So, and I know Eric has already posted a link to Proco's 12 days of drawing or whatever it is. 12 days of Proco. So scroll back through the chat and find the link, and Dave, or else Dave will post it somewhere. Sometime.
Yeah, had I known that it was already up, I would have put it in the description. I did put.
Just go to the Proco website. That's where I went today. You can see it on the Proco website.
Yeah, PR.
There you go.
OKO.
Yes, Proco.
I did put up a link to your cave stuff, like Light Princess, and so.
And check out the Schuster Museum, the Charles Schultz Museum, because that's where I did that Wonder Woman interview on Sunday, chatting about Wonder Woman. Diana, that movie's coming out. Wonder Woman 84. All right. See, Schultz. I'm tired. Schuster. I said Schuster because Joe Schuster.
Right.
But comics, just different comics.
Right.
Blake Goldstein wants you to know, Dave, I finished the commission. They're opening it today. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great. It's exciting.
Finch Rike Inglaze 123 says FinchCon will revive the industry. That's right. FinchCon. Still working on that one.
Yeah.
We got to build a house first, people. Let me get moved into the new house. Then we'll start planning FinchCon.
We're dealing with this little thing called
barn.
You know,
That's what
reality.
I need to build the barn for, Dave. We need the barn so I can hold FinchCon.
In a barn.
In a barn. In the arena. People would love it. It'll be so authentically Finch flock.
Yeah.
It will be. The flock of finches.
This whole thing would go better if I was like more of a, oh yeah, for sure.
I know.
Totally.
I throw it out there and it just goes.
See, there's like
bonk.
some people have the confidence to just, oh yeah, it's a real
Let's
thing.
totally do it. We're gonna totally have FinchCon in the arena and the sand, and it's gonna be awesome, and people can see the horses and the chickens,
right?
And buy comic books, and I'll draw sketches, and Windsor. We'll sell them Windsor water because clearly Windsor water makes you a comic book artist.
Yeah, the Paul brothers would be there boxing.
I mean,
Conor McGregor.
Right? There you go. That's what Dave and Everett were talking about today.
Yeah, right. Yeah, my son Everett, he was telling me Jake Paul, right? Anyway, whatever.
Logan Paul.
Whatever is going to be boxing Floyd Mayweather. Is that like, it's crazy to me, but apparently going to happen.
Oh my gosh, the stream blipped on me, and now I've got to go back to this. Hope I didn't miss any super chats. Why does it do that? It's not even like a giveaway night. Stop that stream. Stop. Everybody stop chatting so I don't miss stuff. Jordan Seward super chat for $6.99. Jordan says, Wonder Woman Volume 8, A Twist of Fate just arrived. David Mayer, best team.
Oh, thank you, Jordan.
Jordan.
We need to do something again.
I know we will.
We will.
We will. And you're busy. You've been busy for 5 years doing this book.
It hasn't been 5 years, but it's been a long time.
It's like a long time.
This is one thing with Red Sonja. Because she's got scales.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's a matter of, you can't fake it. Or at least I don't know how to fake it. So things kind of slow down.
All right. Everybody's talking about the top of Meredith's head on the stream. So far, we got Meredith hair plus feet plus hands and a shoulder one time.
They're gonna piece you together like a Frankenstein.
Eventually, you'll know what I look like. Well, you could just watch that interview I did for the Charles Schultz Museum. There are interviews out there, or you can wait till January when Artsy Bible Nerds podcast comes out or stream comes out. All right, Kevin and Artsy, you can post. Artsy can post what it is again. I forgot because. It's been a week this week. Kevin Mandevil, $2.99. Dave, have you ever drawn yourself into your books? This is so funny because didn't your mom send you an email last week asking you if you drew yourself and saying,
She did, yeah. She said something
you
looked
drew
like
yourself.
me. It was a picture of Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. It was a sketch, and she thought it looked like me.
You did a cover too. What was the bald head cover? Maybe you put stubble on it, but you looked in front of a mirror and you drew half your face. Remember what one I'm talking about? It was just a big head cover. I feel like it was for like.
Oh, I know what you mean. It was an X-Men cover.
X-Men cover, yeah.
It was actually the first thing that I ever inked.
Yeah, it was.
For published work. He had an M on one side of his face.
Yeah.
Oh, we're making progress with that. 850. Got it all drawn in. We're doing all right.
You're doing great. Film Spaz has a super chat for $5. Meredith, do you have any advice on creating empathy for characters? I mean, I think what you're saying is you want your fans or your readers to feel empathy for your characters.
Right. Yes. You want your characters to be likable, I think, is ultimately.
Usually when I'm writing a scene with a character where, because it's not throughout the whole book. Usually you generally like give a way and you're going along speaking in your characters' voices, but it seems like there are moments that come about in every comic where you really want your readers to feel what that character is feeling into. You want them to get inside their head and their heart. And I find when I'm doing that personally, there's a little bit of acting involved in that. You need to get yourself, like if I'm having a fabulous day and but now I'm writing this scene where something really sad or tragic or traumatic has happened, I have to get myself into that place. So part of writing empathy is feeling the emotion that your character would feel as you're writing that. And I think reading it out loud sometimes can be a really effective way of doing that too. Like, be a little bit of an actor. I think just like every comic artist is a bit of a director, right? Because you're calling the shots. Mm-hmm. I think every comic writer has to be a little bit of an actor. If you're reading dialogue out loud and trying to act it out in the tone of voice with which you intend and it's not flowing and feeling right, then you need to go back. And I think sometimes reading it out loud will help you to know that it doesn't feel right. And also channel times in your own life. How did you react? How did you feel? How did you respond when you were feeling a similar, maybe not the same thing, but a similar thing?
And not to interject because I'm not a writer, but
write what you know.
Right, yeah, write what you know. I think that a character that never feels conflict, overdoing the right thing is not actually really as empathetic a character as you might think. You need to people are selfish. We're all selfish, and it's overcoming that selfishness or overcoming fear. You know, when somebody can overcome their shortcomings and grow, that kind of thing, I think that really makes them much more likable to me. There you go. Sorry.
Rasudo says I missed super chat. Uh-oh. That's so good. Not good that I missed a super chat. I went back. What super chat did I miss? No, it's too late. I won't be able to get it.
You were falling down on the job.
I am. That sucks hard. Well, I've got a super chat for $50 from Brad Scott. Or I'll try to go back and find the one I missed. Thank you so much, Brad.
Thank you, Brad.
Dave, I'd like to get your opinion on poses. I always struggled trying to think of original poses, but several pros I've asked say they don't worry too much about it. Your thoughts? And Miss Meredith, as always, you rock. Thanks, Brad.
Yes, thank you, Brad. I have to agree that they're not wrong when you can't worry too much about it, because a human figure only has so many poses, and so much of it is like you can only there's an infinite range of motion. You have so much motion in your body, but there are only so many ways. I'm really making a mess with this picture. I can fix it. There are only so many ways that you can do certain things. Like there are some limitations, and I think what's most important is you don't want to be in a position where somebody draws this pose. I'm going to just draw this pose because I've seen this so many times. You know what I'm talking about? I did it fast, but like that pose right there is been done a million times. And so you don't want to, what you don't want to do is look at an artist that's done that pose and really copy too much of it. What you want to do is take this, that's fine, and then just make it your own and draw your own picture on it and use your own lighting and make sure to make it as original as possible. And you'll find also, the more you do poses, the more they kind of just get internalized, and your own aesthetic will actually take over and will create. It brings a lot of character to it. Trying to do something completely original, I think it is counterproductive. I think maybe I'm wrong. I do think so. I think you can drive yourself crazy, and that's a really good way to end up with artist block that's unbreakable. Right. And thank you for the super chat. I wish I had a better example. Like I wish I could say yes, absolutely. This is how you. But I just, like, for instance, Joe Mad does outrageous, incredible poses. They're beautiful. They are the same poses everybody else is drawing. He does it in his style, and his style is so great that it really works. And he's able to create a subtlety with them. He's so good. So, you really want to work on your craft and your technique and worry about that rather than, complete originality with every pose, because it's just not a feasible thing to be striving for.
All right, next super chat comes from Claudio Rogojan for $2. Claudio says, "Have you seen the movie Red Sonja? It's kind of bad."
Yeah, I saw it. It's been so long that I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it wasn't my favorite. What I'd like to see is, I know Dynamite was in talks and they went pretty far to do a Red Sonja movie. And you know what? Here's the problem. When I talk to like Nick Barucci or really anybody in comics that has like those kinds of projects going on, it's not like I say, so what's going on with this project? What's going on? It's none of my business. So for all I know, maybe he's got something going on, and I hope so. But I didn't ask, so I don't know.
Next super chat is Jordan Clark for $2. Could we get a breakdown on her scales? And to go along with that super chat is SCS Powerlifting super chat for $5. SCS says, "I learned that I hate drawing scales." So people were talking because the scales happened and then they were done.
Well, okay. So I did scales actually last week. I don't know if you remember, but I'll do it again. I'm out of paper. Room on the paper, pretty much. Okay, so here's her breast shape right here. This is basically what in my head, and I don't draw through with this because there's only so much time in the day, but that's basically kind of the shape. And so I know where I'm at. I want to make sure that my outside has some shape to it. I would actually just draw it flat and then erase it out, but because I'm using ink, I don't feel like having to do that, so I just kind of fake it in. Okay. So here we go. And now I know my lines are kind of coming like this. Like this would be my horizontal lines, this is my vertical lines. And so I'm just going to draw a line through. And I'm just drawing this. I mean, not hard. And so I'm just going to follow that line around. And as it comes around, I'm just going to get a little bit more narrow with it. So it would kind of go like this. And you can see that looks like it's rounding around. It's a very simple illusion. And when I'm doing these, it happens to me all the time that they don't line up perfectly. It just happens. I don't worry about it too much. I do worry and try to make it clean, but I don't kill myself too much. And so I'm connecting the bottom ones up to the base of the top ones. And it can come off, but that's it. And then, so that's what I've got here. And then the next stage for me is to, I'm going to light it from here because that's how I have that one lit. That's how I generally light unless I've got something going on. Okay, so I'm gonna just put a little line weight, the same way that I was showing line weights earlier. That's it, just right in here. Doink, doink. Just like this. And it takes some patience, but it's mindless, so you can just put, UFC on and you're good to go. And that's really it. That's how I do scales. There you go. All right.
All right. So it's 9:00.
All right. Okay. So here we go.
But I'm going to delay it because I missed a super chat before we do the book of the week. I feel like it's not fair to go to the book
Fair
of
enough.
the week
Okay.
when I think I found the super chat I missed, which is from Kevin Mandeville for $4.99. On a previous stream, Dave, you mentioned you were practicing more animal art through reference. Is there a book you're using or just pics?
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin, because you've done a few super chats tonight. So.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Actually, I was using a book. I've got a couple. I'll show you.
See, look at that. Book of the week and an extra book.
Make sure that's dry enough to put this down on. Okay, so, and let me grab my books of the week. Okay, so I'll show you this first. And this is an artist anatomy atlas. I find these things are really good to have just to get all of the muscles, just so you know where they all are and where they all go, and you can connect them. It's something that I've covered with other anatomy also. And so I use this quite a bit. I did a bunch of drawings from this, just trying to get this working so I had it memorized. It's an advantage if you already, I should really make this so it's not sideways here, but if you already have a good understanding of human anatomy, so much is the same. This is your scapula, the back. This is what makes a horse, any animal, difficult to draw for me, and I think probably for most people, is your whole back is part of the arm. It really looks like part of the arm. So back is very difficult to draw, and there's no way to avoid it on an animal to do it really well. And so this is your whole scapula. This here would be your triceps. You can see it's got 3 heads. It's much larger. Your bicep is very small here. I think this muscle here would be your pec, actually. And the shoulder is just somewhere in there. I don't even know. I mean, whatever. It's different animal. Like you can actually see it a little bit more on a dog. And then you've got your forearm, that kind of thing here. And it's the same for the back. I do find that just like with humans, this only gets you so far. And so after that, I also got 2 books. I got Kevin Holtgren, The Art of Animal Drawing, Construction, Action Analysis, Caricature. I thought it was a great book, and I did quite a bit with this book. And I really need to get back to it. I get busy, and I love how he breaks things down into shapes and in simple forms. It's something that really works for me. And he's got, I thought this was really great. This is the range of motion of the limbs, and you can see how it would look forward, bent, and then extended back. I think that kind of thing is really great. And for a full understanding of anatomy, you really need to know the range of motion. So anyway. And you can see he's got a skeleton all drawn in there. There are things he does. I kind of think, well, it's a how-to book, so you really want to get everything in. What I really like are his simple, even if you got rid of the bone shapes in there, just the really simple shape drawing that he's using, like this overall shape here, his shape for his rib cage. Anyway, a very good book. There's a ton of stuff in here. I mean, and he even has stuff on, for. It's a very good book. And the other one is The Artist's Guide to Animal Anatomy by Gottfried Bams. I thought this one was really good. It's a little bit, he's using block forms, which I really, really like. This kind of thing here where it's like dimensional forms that I can put together in my head, because this is kind of how I think in terms of blocky shapes. And you can see with some of the videos that I did for human anatomy, I like thinking this way. So I thought that was really great. And then there's a lot of stuff in here that I found utterly useless. Like, okay, I'm sure it's great, but I got no use for it. Like, what am I going to do with this? I don't even know. I'm sure it looks nice.
I don't even know.
But I thought it was useless. I'm going to say 75% of this book to me, I'm reviewing it badly now, and this is a book I really liked. But really, 75% of it I didn't like. But the 25%, this kind of thing here, so good. this is totally worth it. I think it's a great book. And I think, with any kind of art instruction or whatever, you're going to get the things that speak to you and you ignore the things that don't. I think this is a really great book. I definitely recommend it. For me, there are things that I ignored, but that's how it goes. So yeah, again, that is Gottfried Bam's Artist Guide to Animal Anatomy.
Animal Anatomy.
Yes. Okay. And so book of the week. So pumped about this one. So this is Stephen Platt. And this is why I wanted to draw Moon Knight when I did Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Okay, not draw, but draw Moon Knight.
It's actually, he was really getting big right when I was first drawing too. And I just thought this stuff was like bananas. I mean, it's crazy. Look at the stuff. He was also doing the inks on this too. And it's easy to look at and say, okay, it's very early 90s and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on and his proportions are not always great and some faces get a little weird, but you know what? It just was so much fun. Like, look at that shot. That is just a blast. Look at that, Meredith. Look at it on the screen. Wow. She doesn't like it. You like it, right?
I'm just trying to keep it going.
Anyway.
I'm going back through the chat. Make sure you didn't miss any super chats.
Yeah, I thought this stuff was amazing. It's just, and I love, he's got the veins, the way he's doing his detail on there. There's a lot of Todd McFarlane in here. There's some Jim Lee. And then there's just, I mean, frankly, there's just Stephen Platt. He's had a look to his work for years. Now, he has gotten better. No argument. I know he has. But, there's something about artists' early work for me that Jay Lee, actually, and that's another one I really want to do. I've got some of his early stuff. I'm a huge fan of his stuff now. Truthfully, I like his stuff now more. Really, but Jay Lee, but his early stuff for me was so influential, Anyway, yeah, it's just crazy stuff, and I could go on and on. There was one shot, and I had it kind of bookmarked. Yeah, obviously Todd McFarlane there. I had a shot, kind of bookmarked that I completely lost. So, what do you do? But now I'm just flipping through. Anyway, yeah, really crazy stuff. I just personally think it's a real shame that nobody does this anymore. Like, this is not comics anymore, and I know it's not going to be the easiest to read. And, it's easy to say, it's easy to look down on it for some people, but it's just fun. This is why I love Rob Liefeld's artwork, because it's fun. Look at that. Crazy. I don't even know what's happening there. Yeah. So it's a very different kind of an artist because this is such a raw, unschooled artist in a lot of ways compared to, Bernie Wrightson or some artists that are more developed, but even undeveloped Stephen Platt with so many errors and strange things and whatever just had so much life and energy, and you can see the fun he was having doing this. I really do think when you have fun with your artwork, it shows and it carries over. So there you go, my book of the week. It's actually a couple. I had a whole other one over here too, but only shows so many. So there you go. Yes, book of the week, Stephen Platt,
all right.
Moon Knight.
All right, next super chat comes from Alex Barr for £5. Alex says, "Hey, Dave Meredith, what's your thought on perspective grids and how the heck do they work?"
Well, I know what you mean. You can get books of perspective grids. I know that Joe Quesada, I don't know if he still uses it, but he uses those. There are artists that use it. I've talked to them about it before, so I have a general idea of how it works. Basically, the way that you would use it is you would... it saves you having to do the perspective grid yourself. So, and this is a trick that you would use, obviously pre-Procreate and Clip Studio Paint and those kinds of programs. Now it's so much easier you can put that together in a computer program and save yourself all of the headache. But in the era kind of before that, a lot of artists use grids, and I think that they can really work. You put your page on okay, if I'm wrong, hopefully I'm not, but you put your page on a light table and you draw your backgrounds in, you can see the grid through. And so you sketch everything in, get everything in there. And so you know that everything works. And then you can just lift it off and basically finish it yourself. And it's a great way to work. I don't like working on a light table. I don't know. So, I'm not saying I'm above tracing. I've done it. Just saying, for me, I prefer just to draw out my own grids. I think a big advantage of using pre-done grids too, though, is that they're always correct. Whereas my perspective, not always correct, truthfully, especially 3-point perspective, where you put that third point, there's interpretation there, you know? And I don't know just how much of the interpretation I put into it is just me being totally wrong. But it always seems to work well enough, and I just go with it. There are so many things that, you know, I am not a schooled artist. I'm not a student of the craft the way that I really should be. And there are just things that I don't know as well as I should.
But we still love you.
Thank you, Meredith. And, you know, for the sake of you guys and the channel, and I'm really trying to be better with that kind of stuff rather than just going, you know, this works for me, so that's what I'm doing. At the same time, I do think that learning something to the point where it works for you and you know, it's not giving you limitations. If it's not causing limitations in your work that are harming you, you know, you don't want to overthink it too much. You know, like the last thing you want to be is somebody that doesn't really work, but is an expert of how to work. You know, you want to be doing work and making it as good as possible.
Speaking of work, Anthony G has a super chat for $9.99, and Anthony says, "You inspire me on a weekly basis. On Monday nights, my creative tank is filled and I'm motivated to sit and work. I've made more strides with my art in 5 months than the 30 plus years I've been drawing."
Oh man, well, thank you so much, Anthony. And it is so great to have you here every week. You know,
I love that. And you know what?
Yeah.
It's so true. Having a community of people
yes,
is inspiring.
it really
and
is.
It does refill your tank. It's one of the things I miss a lot about conventions.
Yep.
Because I'd go to conventions and I'd have people come up and tell me their personal experience about reading a story or book that I've worked on. And it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, people are reading my work and I'm not working in a bubble. So
Yeah.
that's why this stream is, I'm sorry. Apologize for the yawning. That's why the stream is so good, because it's and your Discord is great. It's like this own nurturing community that everybody like feeds off and encourages each other, and I love it. Thank you so much, Anthony, for that little bit of positivity.
Hey, we've been all positive, haven't we?
Pardon?
We've been all positive.
No, you're negative all the time. You're the worst. You're so negative.
Old and jaded.
Yep. I had a Conan super chat from Claudio Rogojan. Claudio says, for $5, you should do Conan the Barbarian next. Follow up on this. Also, that's a good movie. The Schwarzenegger one, I mean. Not the crap remake with Jason Momoa.
Yeah, I love Jason Momoa. Not
I
my
love
favorite
Jason
movie.
Momoa. I didn't watch it, so I can't speak one way. I will say Arnold Schwarzenegger was awesome.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about Arnold, because, you know, by all rights, it should be totally corny. He was so great.
You know what you didn't do?
What? What?
I'm going to read a super chat, and I'm going to read what Duke Rockwell wrote.
Okay.
This is another super chat from Erica Scott. Erica says, for $5, hi, Dave. How to realistically stylize male versus female anatomy. Like, make them both seem human. Thanks, Dave. And Meredith, keep being awesome.
Hi, Erica. Thank you very much.
It's the horses. They do it for me.
The coughing?
No, the awesome.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You're right. I'm being negative. Look at that.
See, yeah. I mean, I'm not even going to tell people about the conversation we had before we came down here, because you were like, did you take your pill today?
Again, too much honesty. You know, we talk about this.
I didn't say anything. I could just be saying, did you take your aspirin? You're the one that's like, you're cranky. So cranky.
Okay.
So answer Erica's question.
Zoloft, everybody. There you go. Thank you, Meredith.
I didn't say it. You did. It could have been a sweet tart. That's like,
you were fired.
You can't fire me.
It's like a level of honesty. You know, before we did this stream,
I'm here on a voluntary basis. You can't fire me.
Before we did the stream, I feel like I had like some kind of credibility, you know, like some kind of, like there's an aura of mystique, right? Maybe.
Answer Erica's question.
Okay, sorry, Erica. Now,
realistically stylized male versus female anatomy. And we're going to show the statue at the end of the stream. So you guys got to keep reminding me to put out the garbage.
Right. I have an idea about this one. Let me see if I can see it. Okay. Frazetta. Now, I'm pretty sure that this has been my book of the week before. How could it not have been? It has, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to show you some, and I'm just going to show you on the cover. Here is some realistic male anatomy and some realistic female anatomy. And now, of course, it's important. I think we all know this, right? A female arm can certainly look like this. It's all about, the amount of muscle, and women in general tend to have a higher body fat. This is me saying this, but you know what I mean? Just in terms of...
I got the high... Wait a second. You got higher body fat than I do.
Yeah, I knew I was going to pay a price for that comment. But you can see, you could totally draw all the muscles in through here, and it would be realistic because there are women that are really muscled and really low body fat in comparison to the muscle. It's true, but it's unusual, and it doesn't look classically feminine if that's the look that you're going for. And so just really simple here. He's got harder shapes. You can see a harder elbow shape here, a bit of a harder shape for his tricep. He's got hand detail that he's not putting into his women's hands. You notice that? The tendons on the back of his hands. You'll see those on women's hands, but he's avoiding it here. And it's a stylistic choice. And those are the kinds of choices you make. So here you can see all of his anatomy is there. It's all realized, but he's just leaving it. And so all through this book, when he draws men and he draws women, here he's really open with everything here, but he's using slightly harder shapes and a bit softer shapes here. You really don't see muscle definition, whereas you do see the shapes of the muscles defined. Now with this one here, you can see the muscle defined for her shoulder, and it's very soft in her arm. And he's obviously got quite a bit more detail. It's a very realistic style. So I felt like I'm thinking about this, and I thought Frazetta is such a great example. I want to zoom in because, it's a crime to not zoom in on Frazetta. We were moving quickly here, but did it zoom in? I think so. Okay, so yeah, you can see that he's actually defining in muscles. Obviously, he's got hair on the arm, and I mean that can be a difference too, certainly. But just in terms of the way he's defining his anatomy, and it's not over-defined the way that I would do it. I tend to really over-define my anatomy and render it and the whole thing. I just like that. Well, you could see, I showed you Stephen Platt earlier on, right? So you see my influences. But this is more of a classic style. It's beautiful. And just, even here, the difference between this arm and this arm is pretty apparent. He's also really not using much body shadow on her. So he's got shadowing under his arm here, under his bicep here. Really, she should have the same, but she doesn't. And it's a stylistic choice. So there you go. He does actually have some shadow on her knee here, just because it's a broad form and it has a nice, shape to it. But anyway, yeah, I'm basically going on saying the same thing. I really recommend this book. In case you guys missed the cover, I'm sure you saw it. Frank Rosetta's Johnny comment. I don't know where you'd ever find this thing though.
Amazon.
Amazon. There you go.
It's all on Amazon.
It's all on Amazon. Yeah, but that really is the difference, and it's been a fight for me to kind of get that working. Okay, go ahead.
Johnny Cage wants to know, how do you fire your wife? You don't.
Yeah, you don't.
One Mighty R says it's okay to be a little cranky.
You just say you're going to make yourself feel a little better, Yeah.
And Alame, I don't know if I said that right, says comic book artist secrets revealed with Meredith Finch. Unfortunately, I have Dave's secrets to get revealed. So
yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And apparently, Mike Stewart was laughing at me when I said that you had more body fat than I did.
Yeah.
All right. Jeffrey Niffin for $1.99. Jeffrey wants to know if you have any tips for battling procrastination. You procrastinate all the time.
Yeah, I do. So, I mean, I do have
a wife that will come down and say, dude.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Okay, so I feel like I'm very qualified, believe it or not, to answer this question, Meredith, because I do procrastinate so much and I fight with it so much. And
you do. Yeah,
I overcome it also. It's easy for me to avoid it when I'm really motivated. And that is the secret. You cannot wait to be motivated. You just can't. You have to sit down. Like, for instance, Meredith mentioned earlier, and it is true, the live stream, there's a certain amount of energy. We've been kind of out of the house all weekend, We're a little burnt out. Actually, I feel great. I'm really enjoying it. I think you are too, right? But before we started, and there are weeks where we're like, oh no, I'm tired. We're sitting watching TV, and we just don't want to do anything. And I find once we start, we're like going, and we're having a great time. But you just need to, it's like an inertia. You have to build up momentum, get there.
Stand up. Do 15 jumping jacks.
Yeah.
And then when you're done those 15 jumping jacks, sit down and just set a small goal.
And also,
like I just have to do, like, maybe you feel like I've got to get a page done, but the only goal you need to do is I just got to get the layout done.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and do your work before you allow yourself to do other things, and don't wait to be motivated. Just be disciplined, and there are a million self-help books that will tell you all the same stuff, and the advice always is really the same.
Go make a coffee, come down, and get something else.
And just
draw an arm.
Like I do email this way. It's a real problem for me. Actually, I was talking.
That's not true. Don't lie. You do email because Meredith sits you down at the table and makes you do email.
Sometimes I do it on my own, and when I do it on my own, and Meredith's not forcing me, which is true, she does
all the time.
I go upstairs, and I really do. I'll make coffee, or I'll do whatever, and I'm going downstairs, and I'm opening my email, and so I just storm my way downstairs, click on it, and I can feel as I'm clicking on it, the desire to just close it and not deal with it is so strong, and I just do it, and the minute it's open, I'm good. And now I want to answer every email. Next thing you know, I'm answering, like, if somebody asks if they could help with their art, and I'm writing this huge long thing because it's fine when I'm starting. But yeah, it's so hard for me to get started with it because the problem is that, all of us are busy and all of us have so much. It's easy just to say, you know what, I'll do it later. I know for email, I answer email and then I think, okay, I'm done. And if I just ignore it, then it's...
We're never going to get to the rest of the super chat.
All right, and I'm rambling anyway. Go ahead.
That's why I'm stopping you.
All right.
Other Minds has a super chat for $12.07. I love the different number. Howdy, Dave and Meredith. Thoughts on Warner Brothers? I said Meredith because it's M''R'.
It is Meredith.
Yeah, it's like Meredith. It's like a little jokey.
I like that one actually.
Don't even think about it. Only Other Minds can call me Meredith. Or the stream. Thoughts on Warner Brothers releasing all their 2021 films on streaming? Is it the death of cinema or the greatest thing ever? Let's see.
I'm glad that it's coming out. I'm glad that they're finding a way to get it out. I think that it's got to be a bit of a capitulation. You just look at it and go, the stuff needs to come out. People put so much time and effort and creativity into it, and it can't just sit on a shelf. And but it's not good for theaters. There's no way it can't be. This whole time for theaters.
This is another situation where theaters are going to go the way of comic book stores.
Certainly some of them will, and some of them already have. And so, yeah, I can't possibly look at it and say, yeah, this is all great. It's not great.
It's great from a pandemic point of view when we're all stuck at home and we can't leave our house because, now I'm stuck because I have COVID and I can't leave for 14 days or I'm working at home. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's not as many options to do, and it's great from that point of view. But what I don't know is what is the cost to the world that we return to at the end of this? Where, restaurants have gone out of business.
Let's not do social commentary broadly on the whole thing. I don't want to get too...
Don't get too esoteric.
Right. But it's hard to feel really positive about that.
All right. Next super chat comes from Andrew Law for $20 Australian. Years ago, we finally had a comics editor from the US come to a convention here in Australia. Critique was hard, but filled with techniques necessary for growth. Your teachings of the how-to is full of the same inspiration. Love it.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Andrew. And thank you for the super chat. That's very much appreciated. That actually reminds me also that I have my two full-length videos that are available on my website and available on Gumroad. Actually, my website just links to Gumroad. Are also available on howtodrawcomics.net. So, if you are familiar with that site and you go there anyway, you can find my stuff there. We just got it up just a little bit ago. So, yeah, they're good guys over there, and it's good to be part of their site.
Sheldon Martin says, for Halloween, I can change my name to Murdereth for the day.
Wow.
Murdereth.
That's pretty good.
It is, actually. Stream's awesome. Kevin Mandel. Oh my gosh, now I can't speak because I'm Murdereth. I'm Murderething my name. Kevin Mandeville has a super chat for $4.99. That's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
It's like some days, baby. With all the shakeups on artistic teams at DC, is there one DC character besides Lobo, obviously, that you would like a crack at that you haven't drawn?
Besides Lobo. Red Hood. I really like Red Hood. Oh, shoot. It's like on the tip of my
I was going
tongue.
to say Swamp Thing, but we drew Swamp Thing and Wonder Woman.
You know, here's my problem with Swamp Thing. I love Swamp Thing completely. And I even talked to a writer at one point about doing Swamp Thing. Well, a writer approached me about doing it. And yeah, you know, I love how he looks. He's a great character. It's a lot of things that I love to draw, but he's a very cerebral character. He's not violent, you know, and that ain't my thing at all. So
we need, when Dave and Meredith do like a book, it'd be ultra violent because that's how Meredith rolls.
Yeah. I would love to do Superman. I know I'm the wrong artist for it. And I know it's a tough thing to make work for any artist. Seemingly, it seems to be, you know. I hate her mouth. I'm fixing it. Oh, things are falling apart, Meredith. I gotta do it though.
It's fine. Things aren't falling apart. This is why people love the stream. Nobody needs you to come on the stream and every day draw a perfect picture. Because you know what? Nobody's perfect. And I think that people get a lot of value out of seeing the struggles that sometimes happen for even a high caliber artist.
Well, it's a good thing because, you know, the screw ups happen. It's not like I can avoid them.
I mean, I don't personally make mistakes, but we all know.
Yeah, we all know. Hey, married me.
Like, it's not a mistake. Best day of my life. You thought you might have regretted it afterward. But...
No, come on. No.
Come on, you love me.
Of course I do.
What would you do without me? To force you to answer your email.
Buy another motorcycle.
You would buy. You're gonna buy another motorcycle someday anyway. There's only so much room in the garage.
Here's a problem with another motorcycle. Aside from the fact they cost money anyway, insurance companies charge you
a buttload of money.
It's not like they say, okay, you drive a motorcycle maybe once a week for, you know, it's not like it's not like they say, okay, you've got two of them. Clearly you can't drive both at the same time. They charge you full price for every. So let's say I wanted to have, you know, 10 of them. I would be paying for insurance 10 times. I can't afford, obviously, 10 motorcycles, but I'm just saying.
I just want to say,
it's not fair.
When you complain about my horses and the cost of them, I always forget to talk about insurance. How much money we spend a year on insurance for your motorcycle.
I know.
It's insane. So I feel like it's a wash. Mine just comes out monthly.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Zatanna. It's not Zatanna. It's Zatanna. Zatanna.
Okay.
Says, shows you're human like the rest of us. I know I always struggle with making the drawing perfect, but it's not always the case at David Finch. And Curve says, it's absolutely encouraging to me that you struggle with some of your drawings, and it's instructive to see you work through it.
Well, thank you.
And Hang Kok Lee says, perfection ain't art.
You know, I think that's
and he
true.
Also says mistakes make it art.
Yeah.
David says, I think it's great to understand that even legends like you can start making mistakes. So there you go.
Well, thank you, everybody.
One mighty R. The struggle is real. We all make mistakes, David Finch.
We do.
There you go. But CMR says I need him to draw perfect. CMR, you're banned from the chat. No, just kidding. Just in case you weren't here for the banning, Meredith bans everybody chat. You're not banned. Only Eric can do that. I can make recommendations, though.
I hate when I do this.
Just kidding. What are you doing now?
I'm just going for it. And like, I was doing something, but I don't want the leg to look too detailed. I wanted to push it back. And so I just went, screw it. I just put lines over the whole thing. And now if it doesn't work, it really...
It's fine. It already looks like it's working.
Yeah, I think it was okay. But it's like, there's no coming back from that. It's not like using pencil. I've got white out,
true.
But
there is no coming back when you're doing it with pen.
That's actually, it really is part of the fun, though. Just throwing a big, huge shadow, and if it doesn't work, you're sunk. But then, you know.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And I really do like really bold shadow shapes. And
you like bold shadow shapes?
And the amount of times I've found something that like a lighting composition that really works. And I feel like I think it's inventive is just because I put myself into a ridiculous corner and I had no choice.
There you go. We have a super chat from Noelle Hines for $1. Noelle, I do not see a comment, but I will look for one. And we have a super chat from Charlie Parks. Good to see you tonight, Charlie, for $10.
Wolverine's here. Wolverine in the house.
Hey, Dave. Sorry I missed last week. Watch Your Faces course last week and posted a Joaquin Phoenix Joker in the Discord as well. Would love to know what you think. Hi, Meredith. From the Wolverine.
All right. I will check it out. Thank you. Thank you for coming by. Oh, I forgot to do this. And this will be quick, everybody. Sorry, but I forgot. And I got to do it. And I got everything arranged to be able to do it. So let me do it.
Oh, no. I'm worried.
Okay. So
We're going.
we have the Book of Ruth by Meredith.
Oh, look at you. Oh, you scared me, and then it was something nice.
This is in the description. You can find this link. This is Meredith's Book of Ruth, which she came out with earlier this year, and it's a great book. I don't know if they don't have preview pages here, but the whole book looks like that cover. Beautiful work by Colin Dyer.
Go to the Kickstarter. I think is still like up if you go into Kickstarter and search. I mean, it shows funded, but you can see a whole video on it.
But yeah, hopefully you'll consider giving that a try. She also has the Light Princess on here. I would have to find it. The Light Princess is on here too.
From Cave. It's from the same publisher.
See if I can find it. I know it's in here somewhere. I saw it earlier. I'm never gonna find. Anyway, the Light Princess. Oh, no, that's not it though. That's a study guide.
Light Princess. What is it?
Light Princess study guide.
Yeah,
What is? I don't even know what that is.
For all of you homeschoolers.
If you are stuck at home with your family right now, we have the perfect resource for you. We created a study guide for our series, The Light Princess, with activities and projects specifically designed for ages 6 to 16. Though some of you who are older may still enjoy some of the activities as well. Go here to download the study guide. Oh, look at that. You can just download it. And don't miss the amazing video at the end by Renee DeLiz teaching you how to draw the Light Princess.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Renee DeLiz is the artist of the book, and they have a few preview pages. Very cool. I didn't know they did that, Meredith. Did you know?
I did. I forgot.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So also the Light Princess.
I have boys, and Isaac's not going to read the Light Princess.
That's true. So yeah, please check out Meredith's work over at Cave Publishing. We appreciate it. And I have my Red Sonja cover, and obviously I'm drawing Red Sonja here.
And it's only at 20,000.
Only. I mean, come on, that's pretty good, really. And we very much appreciate the support that we have gotten, because that's a very nice number.
99 backers. We need to make it 100. Is there 99 backers?
Well, let me refresh. It says 93, and we are at 2455. So we're the same. Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
93 backers. We need 7 backers. Let's make it 100 today.
Okay. 16 days left.
Got to put it out there.
And so yeah, I'm trying to promote it, and that's so why I'm drawing Red Sonja now. So anyway, and there are a bunch of different perks. You can get all 3 signed, or a standard cover, and kind of picture.
I know everybody on the stream's already ordered their copies. So.
Yes, I know, that's the thing. And there's also a lithograph.
It's a beautiful book.
Yeah. So there you go. There's my advertising.
All right. That means I can segue into the next super chat from Jordan Coe.
I do look really red on here, Meredith.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why do you look? You look sunburnt.
You know what? I was out for a long time with the dogs today in the wind.
You don't look like windburned looking at you.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. He's not sick.
I don't think.
I don't know why. Like I look in.
But looking at me just right here, I look red.
No, but maybe.
So yeah, it's my light balance.
Yeah, you just have to adjust it on you. Yeah, it must be because you don't look that red in person, but it's All right, I'm reading Jordan's super chat for $20 from New Zealand. Hey guys, I've just started drawing and I'm finding myself overwhelmed by the vast array of things to learn and practice. Can you recommend just one thing to begin with, i.e. hands, heads, perspective, etc.? You guys are epic. Heart.
Thank you very much. I want to tell you that I have on davidfinchart.com, there is a roadmap it's a blog post, and it's like a, where to start, where to go from there. I would really recommend you take a look at that. But generally speaking, you really want to start with your foundation, and foundation still also covers a lot of ground. I mean, but I would say you want to learn your figure proportions. So you learn how many heads high a figure is, get comfortable drawing that, and get comfortable with gesture drawing, just stick figure drawing, very, very simple. And then from there, you need to learn your anatomy. And I don't know that anatomy is more important than heads, so you need to learn heads too. My recommendation would be, you really want to treat it like a job. You are trying to get better. This is like your school year. You can't do everything at once. So, for a week, really study anatomy and learn where all the muscles go. And I see Russ Hicks mentioned Bridgman. Thoughts on Jeff Watt's new book, Watts on Bridgman. He points out how hard it is to learn from Bridgman. That is really interesting. I'm a huge fan of Jeff Watts. I think he's great. I'd actually be really curious to see that, because I can't disagree that Bridgman can be hard to learn from. I personally don't read any of the words. I just look at the pictures. So,
That's true.
Now, yeah, I'd say you need to learn heads, the simple form that makes up the head, the simple forms that make up arms and legs and everything, and just learn the anatomy, and then go from there. And check out my roadmap for more. That's
right.
very interesting that Jeff Watts has a Bridgman book. I really need to see that.
Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
Next super chat is from Alessandro Kreppel for $1.99. But the message got retracted, so I don't know what it is.
Well, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. And then we have a super chat from Dennis Kelly for $2. Dennis, I don't see a comment, but I'll look for one farther on. Thank you for the super chat. And another super chat from Alessandro Kreppel for $1.99. And again, here it is. Thanks, Dave, for his videos. Now I have a routine drawing every day, but sometimes I felt that I'm not evolving enough. Did I study wrong, or is it normal to feel this way sometimes?
Oh, yeah, it's normal. Yeah, you're going to have times when you'll have big growth, and then you'll have times where you stall, and you need time for your brain just to adjust to everything that you've learned. And it's like they say in advertising, you need to see something or be exposed to something, I think like 3 times or X amount of times in order for it to become something that you're aware of as a thing. And it's a similar kind of a concept for learning. You can't just learn something and you're like, oh, hey, now I know it. You might learn it in the moment, but you're going to forget. And as you learn other things, you'll forget things that you already know, and it becomes a bit of a juggle. So there are peaks and valleys, and it's totally natural. And as long as you are working on getting better, studying, and making sure not to neglect the things that you've already learned, then you're fine. And yeah, it's to be expected for sure.
All right. Jordan Seward says, I backed the red Sonja.
Oh, thank you, Jordan. That's great. I appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you, Eric, for always posting the links in the chat. When Mighty R says, great work, Meredith. Thanks, Mighty. Jasper Plan 9 says, I'll promote it in some chats because you guys are the greatest stream ever.
Oh, thanks.
Dennis Kelly, haha, I did a super chat, but no comment, so here's my comment. LOL. Woohoo!
Epic comment.
That was awesome. Sorry, I just want to make sure I don't miss any super chats. Sometimes it doesn't go fast. Russ Hicks, $5 super chat. Sorry, late tonight, missed. BOTW. What does that mean? Book of the week. That's right. Thoughts on Jeff Watt's new book? Oh, did you just read that?
Yeah, but I missed the book of the week part. So yeah, Book of the week. It was Stephen Platt's Moon Knight work. The stuff that really made Stephen Platt, I want to say a household name, in so much as you could be in comics at the end of the time.
You must have looked like you're ahead of the stream. You're ahead of me in the stream.
Well, it's because I looked up.
You were actually live too. Like I'm not live. Everybody else has a delay. Yeah. Well, certainly I do.
I looked up as it came up on it. So yeah, like right now I could tell you that Daniel says Japanese is the best one, and Al Padrino says obvio microbio. Obvio micro. El Padrino, I don't know.
You should not, because you can't just look up, because there's conversations happening in
That
the stream
yeah, that I'm just like reading
that
into
you're
now.
just reading random stuff because you're not following the stream. You could read stuff like Ash Schultz art, late to the party, but she's looking gorgeous.
Well, thank you very much.
Ash. I didn't do my hair today, but I appreciate that. Do you have a secret camera that you can see me on? No, I'm kidding. I know you're talking about the Red Sonja.
David says, I don't know how much about Red Sonja, honestly, so I'm not sure I want it, but I want to support you. Well, you know what? Coming here really is supporting me, and
That's
that is
right.
enough. So yeah, please.
Don't feel like you don't. If you don't know who Red Sonja is, then,
Yeah. I want you guys to buy it, of course, right? You know, but at the same time, you know, we're not here 100% just trying to, you know.
We're not just chilling.
No.
We're here to educate, education.
It's such a tough balance because. Oh well, look, you know what? This is I've been in this business for years, where you know I put out Avengers from Marvel. What's that?
We're getting better at it, though.
We are, I think, but doing interviews and telling people why Avengers is great. It's no different, you know. It's just yeah, it's tough.
All right, animations creations for $1.99. Isn't it odd that you can't see your own eyes? You can see your own nose.
Oh, I see.
You see what I mean? Like you could.
I thought he meant.
You could see your own lips if you were cross-eyed, but you can't actually see your own eyes.
That kind of stands to reason, doesn't it?
It does. Charlie Parks, super chat for $2. Oh man, I missed the giveaway. I won Gambit, right? Speaking of which, I mailed out all the stuff today, FedExed it, so most people should get their stuff tomorrow, with the exception of the books, because they were really heavy and I couldn't FedEx them. And I also need to confirm city. So the books will go out tomorrow in the mail.
I can confirm
they will go snail mail. Apologies.
Yeah,
Dave packed up a lot. So
yeah, I packed up even more, and then I thought, okay, this is getting crazy. If I bring all this upstairs, I'm just going to get yelled at, and you'll make me.
As it was a challenge to get the box together.
Yeah.
Noel Hines has a super chat for $5. I have to ask. Are you a competitive artist secretly in your heart of hearts?
Yeah. Oh man. I guess, you know. Yeah, and actually it's a real struggle for me, because I could tell you all the artists that I really respect and I'm a huge fan of. But if you think that it doesn't bug me that they're better, and I've had times where I've really gotten myself convinced that I'm like, you know, the greatest, and maybe not right now, but people will find out.
Did I ever live with you when you thought you were the greatest?
No, but you know, I've really thought that I would be like bigger and more successful. And those times are, you know, I've been that way. You know, those times are the worst for me. And that's when my art absolutely falls apart, because I'm worried about what I'm going to get from it. And, you know, I'm not worried about the work. I'm worried about my success. And I find that's a real disaster. And also, feeling that way about other artists and being competitive has never given me anything good. It does help me
being your best self.
Yes.
And not worry about what everybody else is doing, because it will always. Okay, now it's like Meredith's philosophy time. You got the book of the week from Dave. Now it's a little bit of Meredith philosophy. Always seems to come around this time. But worry about you, because there will always be somebody better.
There will be.
It's like what I told my kids when they would go out. Just if you give 100% of your best effort when you're playing sports, you can walk off the field and know we may not have won, but I know that I gave everything I had. That's the only thing you have control over in life.
Yeah, and I remember telling the kids that if you're not winning, you're losing. And I believe that. And that was actually, I think, at the worst period of my career, because I was believing that stuff. You know, if you're not, you know, and that is so poisonous to your own mental well-being and your art. Like, you're not doing your best art. I wasn't anyway in that headspace. Yeah. You know, way too busy worrying about what other, you know, when you want to compete with somebody and you spend all your time worrying about their success, how can you possibly be doing your best work? You're not even thinking about your own work, at least. So yes, no, I've struggled with it quite a bit, and I've now this is feeling like a religious thing. I've had my resentments, but I have there are artists I could say that I've There was a time I really resented Mike Turner, his success. And I mean, that did nothing but great things for not just my career, but everyone at Top Cow at the time, So, yeah.
Worrying about somebody else is always a sign of your own insecurity.
Yes. And,
we all need a little more self-love.
We do. Yeah. And you really have to be prepared, I think, in any kind of a public, because I mean, this is mildly public. It's comic art, but still you're putting stuff out in the public, and you have to be prepared for the fact that it can be difficult because you are being judged, and you will inevitably judge yourself based on how people see you. If they respect you, then you feel like you're in a good spot. If you do a book that does really well, then you're in a good spot. But what if you have a setback? I mean, are you mentally, emotionally prepared to deal with it? Because it will happen. So you want to be prepared. And I think the bulwark against that kind of like falling apart and having a breakdown is focusing on the work itself, the quality of the work, and not the success that comes with it. You want that. I certainly do. But you don't want to make that your focus. All right, okay.
I just want to say Anthony G says, all right, just bought my copy of Red Sonja. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony.
And Ed Ergel says, Dave, it's a tough balance. You guys do a great job, really. You inform, but you don't feel as if you push anything in terms of like promoting our stuff.
Well, we do, but yeah, thank you.
Inform. It's out there.
Yeah.
Jordan Seward, Meredith, I have to admit, I've never read comics until now. I didn't enjoy the writing and I got lost, but you were great. Love this book. Aw, I didn't know how that was going to end. Actually, I didn't. Thank you, Jordan.
Well, yeah, that's really nice. Thank you. Yeah. See, this is good for you to do this.
It is.
You're convincing art people
to read comics.
Yeah, instead of just looking at the pictures. You're not convincing me.
I know. That's because you read the script without the pictures. Kevin Mandeville says, well, from us to you, David, you're definitely one of the best men.
Oh, well, really, thank you, Kevin. I do appreciate it.
All right. How much time do you have left on that?
I have 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
All right. And then we'll do the statue reveal. Dun, dun, dun. I really need the soundboard in the new house. Like, we're going to have to fix this in the new house so that I have control of the soundboard.
Actually, that reminds me. Did I mention this last time? Jimmy said, was it last week that I talked to him or 2 weeks ago?
Last week that you could make me a moderator.
Yeah, so Meredith could actually be running this. And then you can do...
And then I will be banning people.
You can do this. Look at that. Robert from OC says, David, I was a pro glamour photographer and sometimes felt a little envious of other photographers' work. I need to breathe. But also when a friend did something outstanding, I was first in line to honestly praise their work. And that is great. And I think, that's a healthy, being envious, it's what makes you grow.
Like it's something to aspire to.
But then being supportive, it's better for them. It's better for friendships. And I think it's better for you. And yeah, actually, I totally randomly picked that comment. Thank you so much, Robert. That's really...
There was nothing random in life.
Yeah.
I just want to say there's nothing random in life.
And it's going to be there for a while because I don't know how to take it off.
That's right. Brandon Spence has a super chat for $2. Exactly one of the reasons I felt like quitting was what you were talking about. Just feeling envious of other people. So
I don't know how to remove it. It's a nice comment. I don't like, but at the same time,
how to get rid of it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just click on the chat. Just click back over in the chat.
Okay. There we go.
There you go.
And that was Sam and Kucher saying statue.
It's coming.
Yeah, that was I'm really glad I clicked on that one. And then I felt very guilty for like.
No, but I can't. I told you there's no accents in life.
Yeah. That's
a message from the universe, or in my world, divine intervention. Providence. How we call that providence. Kevin Mandeville, $4.99. Super chat. You said you prefer darker and more violent characters. Who is a character you'd like to reimagine more in that vein? And thank you everybody for the super chats tonight. We're always so grateful.
That is a really good question. Wow. Who'd I like to reimagine in that vein? Oh, okay, I know who I want to say, and I'm going to apologize to my sister and everyone who is a fan of the character, and I would never do it. But Nightcrawler.
Oh yeah, he's not dark enough.
He is dark enough. Look, you're not a fan. That's a problem. He's perfect. The Alan Davis version of Nightcrawler, like I love him. I wouldn't change him. I don't like it when people mess with him, but I mean, he's such a cool looking character. So that's like, yeah. But I wouldn't do it because to me, I don't like it when somebody takes a character that really has a, comics are really written well, and characters that are really written well, they become real. I mean, we all know they're not real, but they become very personal for us. And to have somebody come in and just change who they are, I wouldn't do that. But that said, yeah, Daredevil. Now I'm saying Daredevil, Nightcrawler.
Curve says, "LOL. I started watching during a long stream, and then there were 2 more long streams, and apparently tonight is normal length. And I'm like, they're almost done already." Oh.
Yeah,
try to end at 10.
We do well. We almost never get, but I tried. Yeah, if I aim for 10, I usually am within 10, 15 minutes tops of that.
Artsy Designs is going to bed. Artsy's going to catch the statue later.
Well, it was good to have him here, and thank you, Artsy. Yeah, hopefully I'm sure I'll see it later.
Ominous Art of Lexi York for $2. What are your thoughts on darker art like Beksinski? Right? Did I say that right? Beksinski. Beksinski. Do you know who that is?
No. Now I'm very curious. Okay, can you just spell it for me again?
Beksin.
KSIN.
Ski. Beksinski.
All right. Yeah, I'm always looking for new artists to check out. So, yeah. Well, I would check it out. I wish I could tell you, what my thoughts are, but obviously I'm not familiar.
Rike Ingles 123 has a super chat for €5. Rike says, "Dave, from now on, I'll only study feet so I can be better than you at something."
Yeah, that won't take long. Thank you.
Oh, and David has a super chat for $5. "I will support you this way for now. And did I hear something about Gambit? That I can totally get on board with." Everybody likes Gambit.
Yep.
And then Tag has a super chat for $5. "Nightcrawler, something to think about. This is comics, and there are other universes. Just an idea."
That is a good point. You can do a version of a character and leave the original alone and not mess with it. Certainly. So, yes.
Chris and Nutez says, "Meredith and David, I'm saving up money so I can donate and be noticed." Don't you worry. We notice everybody in the chat. We just can't always get to everybody in the chat.
And I watch afterwards.
Yeah, and Dave watches the chat every week.
Yeah.
So, just so you guys know. Dave watches every week. And he's like, "Why didn't you ask this question? Blah, 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 blah." Oh, Beksinski was a Polish painter who painted in dark and surreal subjects. His forms were bent and twisted.
I'm very interested to see it.
Zidslaw Beksinski. Oh my gosh. ZDZIS.
I'll find it. You're good.
Okay. Okay, this is the name that everybody laughs at when I say Hollow Man Jinbu 2. Did I say that right? $5 super chat. Meredith, you missed my super chat last week. Shame. No. Speaking of artists, whatever happened to Angel Medina? Aw. How did I miss your super chat? I'm so sorry.
That is a good question, though.
Super chat to tell me I missed your super chat.
I don't know what happened to Angel Medina. He's a phenomenal artist. I remember when I did Moon Knight, they did a promo package for it, and on one side was Moon Knight, and on the other side was his Spider-Man, and he had the coolest Spider-Man shot with the fingers coming right out. He's such an incredibly dynamic artist. I met him a few times. He is really, the nicest guy, which is like a real theme for comic artists. Writers, they're the worst, but I don't know where he is now. My guess it would be that he's working maybe in games or something like that. He's far too talented to be not working. So maybe he's doing other stuff. Yeah, like Andy Park. So Andy Park is this phenomenal comic artist. He's incredible, and then he disappears, and all of a sudden, he's the head of Marvel Studios visual development. So, Yeah, he definitely popped up again.
Yeah, he did. Kevin Mandevil finally corrected my pronunciation. It's Majin Buu. So it's Hollow Majin Buu 2.
Oh, great. Okay, well.
So now I'll have it for next time.
You'll forget.
I will. I think I have Ed Urkel's name right for $4.99. Since he corrected me the night of the everybody correcting Mira's bad pronunciation of their name stream. Dave, an older sci-fi detail artist you might dig. Have you ever checked out Virgil Finley? That was Ed's super chat for $4.99.
I have, and I'm like, if I seem a little hesitant right now, it's because I know that I have. I know the name, and it's kind of escaping me right now. So I don't want to like go out on a limb and say something that makes me look like an idiot because I've forgotten. I need to check that out again. But I do know that name for sure. So.
El Padrino says Meredith, can you tell Dave that Finch Flock is grateful he does these live streams and videos?
Well, thank you.
And Andrew Taz says Angel kind of burned out on Spawn and left the industry. So there's no saying he won't be back.
Yeah. Well, there's no, you know what though? It's he may be back. He may be happy where he is now. You know, there's something to be said for working in games and you know, having a job where you go in 9 to 5, you work with a team of people, you have that interaction, which you really don't get in comics, and you go home, you know, and have your own nights like with comics. Because I did some game designs for a company for a bit, and I was in their studio in Texas for a few weeks working on it, and yeah, just going into work, and then it was so hard for me though because I couldn't go home. Everybody was going home, and I'm like, "What are you people doing?" Like 5 o'clock, literally 5 o'clock would go on, and they would have a LAN party. Or 5 o'clock would happen, they would go on a LAN party. The entire company would stop working, and then they'd all kill each other in this game, whatever it was. I don't like that kind of game because I'm no good at them. But I'm like, "Are you kidding? 5 o'clock?" And it's like they're all like waiting for it to come, and I'm like, I'm looking at my page thinking, I don't have enough done. It's such a different mindset. But you know, something to be said about working to the clock, I guess.
Oscar Penna has a super chat for $2. Oscar says, "Hey guys, I'm new. Love the show. Thank you for coming."
Thank you very much, Oscar. Yeah.
Thanks for the super chat. And Andrea Troy says, "Notice me. I love your art."
Thank you very much, Andrea.
NSBN1, hey David Meredith, shout out from Malaysia, missing you back in Singapore Con.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, you know, who knows when it'll happen again. We'll be there again. I certainly would love to be able to go again. You missed Singapore. You weren't there the last time.
I know you walked around the hotel for me, right?
Yep. Yeah, with the cameras, you could see it. Yeah, it was a good show. It was a great show.
You done?
No. But I am ready to almost. You know, I need to zoom out a bit.
All I can see is butt.
Yeah, I've been zoomed in this whole time here, and
just butt.
That really makes a little difference. I would be better off if all my pictures were this way.
You would be. Why don't you just turn your camera that way?
If only people were wider than they are taller.
Why can't you just turn your camera that way?
Because nobody wants to watch the thing like this.
Why is the camera that way?
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
You can't like adjust it? Like there's no flip? You know when you flip your phone? I see you rolling your eyes over there at me. I don't know. I'm asking a question from a non-technical perspective.
You might understand this. The monitor that it's displaying on is shaped that way.
Is there crickets on that board?
I think actually there are. There actually are. So there you go.
Yeah, right there. All right. Do la la la. I got my Christmas tree up.
Yep. That was another thing that happened this week also. Yeah, among getting the house up for sale, getting it, and it's getting the house up for sale, and then now I didn't do any of this, so I mean whatever. But following anybody, like if somebody walks through a room, having to go in and follow and clean up.
Oh my gosh,
after.
I can't tell you how many times I wash the floor on my hands and knees.
Yeah, it's nice to be done. I say that from my perspective, it's nice to not have somebody scream at me the minute I walk into the wrong room.
The dogs, the kids, kicked him out of the house half an hour before we had to be out of the house. Good news. All right. Nick from Detroit says, you put your tree up and it just sold? I did. But that's all right. The tree, we're not moving till March 1st.
Yeah. It's a long closing because we need that because we're building right now.
Because our house is just drywall right now. It's drywall and subfloor. It doesn't even have an exterior cladding yet. So
I need to start leaving these pens out a little bit. This is a new one, and I'm getting so much ink out of it that I'm not getting good detail. Like I'm not liking it.
Leave the lid off like
you know
Isaac.
what? I do. I'm gonna leave it out, and I have one somewhere. I had. Oh, here it is.
You know how many times I yell at that kid? I'm like, you know why none of our black Sharpies work?
Because he leaves them out.
Because he takes them and leaves them out. And so when I
that.
go to like address a package like today, and
But
the Sharpie was dead.
Yeah, now I'm getting like this is the line I want to get out of these. It's just easier to get detail.
Well, just don't forget to put the lid on it.
Yeah.
670 likes. This is crazy.
Oh, you guys are great.
Guys
Thank you.
Best.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. And if you have not already subscribed, I'm gonna leave it at that.
I know we have one video. Look, there are a few videos that are doing well, but we have the one that's like it keeps getting views, and so it's resulting in more subscribers, which
now,
I'm very grateful.
What is your next video coming out? Have you shot one?
I have. I shot it. It's all done last week. Yuri. Yeah, you can't pronounce names. Poor Yuri.
Yuri.
Yuri is editing it right now. He is the phenomenal editor. He did the last one, the inking one. He's working on one right now. He's incredibly good. I got him some of the stuff he needed a little bit late this time. I got him the whole video, and then the intro and outro I recorded a lot later. And then we were out of the house because we were selling. So anyway, he's a little behind. I was behind.
So maybe next week.
No, it'll be this week.
Okay.
Like I know he's
not always Tuesday anymore.
He's got the video edited.
We're doing our best.
My guess is it'll be Wednesday. If not, it'll be Thursday. But I guess it'll be Wednesday.
62 Lefty Blues wants nice feet. And Kenny Wang.
Nice what?
Nice feet. Kenny Wang says, of course she has got no feet.
People, I know I'm going to get the comments on this one. I got one on the last one. Like somebody said I draw.
She's got a heel.
Yeah. Not even really. Somebody said I draw like 5% as well as you, but at least I can draw feet on my fingers.
Awesome. Dennis Kelly.
Fair enough.
Super chat for $2. Have you thought of doing Pit?
Oh, how great would that be?
I don't know who Pit is.
So it's Dale Keown's character, his first Image comic. And I've got to say, I think that would be a bit of a lot of people wouldn't be as familiar as they once would have been. But I would love to do it, and I want to do it for sure. That's a great idea.
Curve says, Meredith just told Dave to put a lid on it. I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen off stream. Curve, this is life. What you're witnessing right here is life all the time in the Finch house.
Actually, yeah, it's really...
There's no difference.
Well, you know what maybe the difference is?
People aren't witnessing it.
I have actually gotten like angry. Yeah. Sitting here, I'm like, I'm actually.
Oh, and
then afterwards, I'll say something. But during the stream, I'll just sit here going.
That's true. So the stream saves my butt.
Yeah. So it has happened. I've gotten mad.
When I'm mad, I just don't come on the stream. Wait, that never happens.
Hey, you were busy that day.
Lonnie Edwards says, "Hey, I work in construction. Ask me a question. I'd be glad to help with any suggestions since it sounds like your house is under construction."
It is, yeah.
It's coming along.
Yeah, thank you.
We're at the mudding, sanding, more mudding, more sanding, more mudding, more sanding phase.
Well, you
drywall.
You want them to, yeah, you want them to do it well. You know.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My my sketchbook 340 wants to know, is she tracking in heavy mud?
Yeah.
That's
Did I quit?
That's it. You're done. That'll drop. That'll drop. Yuri, hey, Yuri's on the stream.
Really?
Yuri says it's me. Hey,
Wow.
Yuri.
Thank you so much for coming. That's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been messaging back and forth, but I have not actually had a chance to, talk to him. We need to do like some kind of a screen share, whatever. Anyway, Yuri, actually, in the next video that's coming out, I'm going to have a link to Yuri's Instagram, and maybe Yuri, if you want to put it up here, put your Instagram so people can give you a follow and check out your work. He's just absolutely incredible, and I will tell you my process for contributing to the editing of the videos is just to say, because they come up perfectly. So yeah, thank you so much for coming by, Yuri. It's a real honor to have you here.
Modus says use that upcoming CGC signing event for down payment on the new house. Do you have an upcoming CGC signing event?
Yes.
How are you doing that? Because you aren't flying. Is that the one you were going to fly down for, but now you're not flying down for?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it. Like it'll have to be somebody, because there are CGC people in Canada, and so we'll end up having to do that. We'll mail them. It'll work out.
Somebody can drive down halfway from Toronto to London, and
it's very cool that Yuri's here, and he's like, he's part of the channel now. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Ulrich Hutfeld says Liefeld draws feet better than David, and nobody can prove me wrong.
No, I can't. I mean, look at those feet. Oh, I was actually really thinking I should be drawing feet on these just to say I can draw feet. But then I thought I can't start drawing my pictures totally based anyway, whatever. Maybe I can't draw feet.
Next week you'll draw feet.
I can draw other things,
Jasper Plan 9 has a super chat for $4.99. David, what characters do you have equity in? Any thoughts about DC not paying Alex Ross royalties to use the Wonder Woman 84 armor from Kingdom Come?
Okay, now I'm absolutely not gonna get into anybody's
royalty battle.
Right. So I don't want to touch that at all. I co-created Maria Hill.
We don't have equity in any character right now.
No, not really. And as far as I know, I don't know of any kind of equity that I would have for creating a costume. I guess you could say I have equity in a few characters, just nothing that's really been used aside from Maria Hill. I've got Gotham and Gotham Girl. There are other ones, but maybe one day. Truthfully, though, I haven't really created a lot of characters, or co-created, I guess would be more accurate, for Marvel and DC. When you work on Avengers, you're working on all characters that everybody knows for the most part. And I've worked on X-Men, so it's working on big books, but for the most part, not creating characters for them. It's all the existing characters. And I did costume designs for some X-Men, some different characters, but as I don't know of any kind of compensation that comes along with it. Maybe there is. Maybe I should be talking to somebody, because I did. Oh, you know what? I was about to claim.
Yeah.
You remember Ronin?
No.
Okay, so I did Avengers.
That was a fail.
I did Avengers, and there was a character called Ronin, and I did the first character design for him, and it was ultimately it was ultimately Echo.
You told somebody, so they had to change the whole timeline.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a disaster.
You couldn't keep your big mouth shut.
I couldn't keep my mouth shut. That's true. And not only that, but
loose lips.
The character design that actually got published in the comic was Joe Quesada's. I did a design. He didn't like it. He fixed it. So yeah, I saw the movie. I'm like, that's my character, and but it's not really, because I drew him first, but it was Joe Quesada's design.
CMR wants to know whatever happened to Dale Keown. Well, Sheldon Martin has the answer. He draws comics in Meredith's Horse Barn.
Dale is doing great. He still does covers. He doesn't work
He's drawing comics in my horse barn.
Right.
He's not.
He's doing really well, and he's still working. He doesn't do as much as he used to. I think the original Image comics happened, and I think he was very smart with his money, and so I don't think he's really in a position to have to work.
Kevin Mandeville super chat for $2.99. Pit versus Ripclaw versus Darkness pick / best.
Pit versus. You know what? I haven't done a versus for a bit, and actually, the last one I did was just kind of them standing there. I should do a Pit versus Ripclaw.
What are we looking at for an ETA there, Dave?
We are looking at about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
And look at that, it's 10:10. I said so. Yeah, I'm pretty well.
No, you said it was 20 minutes.
Okay.
At 9:40.
No, it was. All right. Wasn't.
Greg Static Art, Dave, I really hope you see this. I've watched your male torso tutorial countless times, and it's so helpful.
Oh, thank you,
I
Greg.
was wondering how to adapt it to a larger character like Hulk or Bane.
It's really proportions, you know. So so here's my character. Obviously, a simple, crappy drawing of a character, but you know what I mean. Like this is. We'll have Meredith freak out if I start drawing well.
Yes.
Anyway, so there's my character. I want to draw Bane, so I'm going to draw actually the same body, so it won't even be different, or the same torso. And then I'm going to make the head a whole lot smaller. And look at that! All of a sudden, you got a very different character. And then I'll make the arms also much bigger, and I can go. Maybe a little shorter with the legs. I don't even think I'm going shorter with the legs. I'm just going wider, and also wider with the hips in proportion. But it just happens, just making the head smaller and the arms much wider.
Pommel, Henry Jeremic.
Leave it to Henry. No.
No, he wants to know what the thing at the end of the sword is called. It's not the hilt, it's the pommel.
Oh, I thought he was saying Pummel. That's a character from like early.
No, pommel.
Oh, Pummel, and you know it's a good point to mention it because
sword. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
It is the pommel, and I don't have a pommel on her sword, and it was about to be left that way. Charlie
Parks, $2. Do a video on line weights. Not talked about enough.
No, it's not actually, because I consider it to be a really easy thing, but it's one of those things that I consider to be easy because I've played with it for so many years. But you know, yeah, and also I learned it in a studio where somebody was really showing me and saying, no, that doesn't look right. That looks like you're killing it here. I'll have to do that. That's a very good idea for a video. And thank you, Wolverine.
All right. Henzo Diaz. Hey, David Finch. I'm a Brazilian fan of all your works. What tips would you give to me? Because I have a dream to be an amazing comic book artist like you. Sorry for the English. You have a roadmap.
I do, yes.
And
Henzo, thank you very much.
Go to David's website, www.davidfinchart.com, and Dave has a whole roadmap that gives you tips.
Now, the one thing that really is not that, like the big glaring thing that's missing is how to break in, you know.
Well, that's
a whole other concern, and that's something that is different for everyone. It's it can be such a tough road to get in. I don't see Jazz Singh here this time.
He's too busy working.
Yeah, Jazz has been working on his art for a bit, and now he's starting to get some professional work. He did some stuff for Jimmy. I think he's going to be doing more for him, and he will just be moving on from here. He'll be doing more and more. I'm absolutely sure because he's very, very good. Very good.
All right, everybody's bailing. We got to do this. Show the statue. Kevin Mandevil's like, I got to go. Do the statue, Dave. Do the statue.
Okay.
Before everybody leaves.
All right. You're going to want to move then.
Okay. Oh, other end of the couch.
What's under the couch?
I'm moving to the other end of the couch.
Oh, the other end of the couch. Okay. Let me go here so I can actually see what I'm doing here.
It's enormous, people.
Yeah, it is. All right. I'm going to have to turn this upside down too. Okay. Shoot. Here, let me turn this upside down. It's take me a second here. Flip. Okay. There it is. It's pretty small in the shot, unfortunately.
Go stand beside
you know what? Here, I'm going to zoom. I can just zoom.
Go stand beside us.
Okay.
So you can see I mean, look how freaking big that is. It's enormous. It's as big as a lamp.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't pick it up?
What, this?
Yeah.
So, yeah, here it is. It's huge. and it's beautiful. XM Studios did this, and yeah, they're incredible. This was actually like a puzzle to put together. They're all individual pieces. I don't want to pull it apart right now and end up breaking it, but like this comes off, and it all fits together like a puzzle.
Don't knock my tea over.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. I would turn it around and everything, but honestly, it weighs a ton. It's actually hanging off my table a little bit here. I don't have a table in here that's big enough to even hold it. So yeah, very, very cool. Let me flip everything around here again.
All right. I can go back.
Yep, you're good.
I don't want to go back if you're...
You're good, you're good.
Okay. Oh, it sucks to get old. Is that you signing your name? Did you get the pommel?
Meredith.
David.
Meredith.
David. Henry Jeremiah. Meredith, take out the garbage. Thank you, actually, for reminding me, Henry.
Actually, yeah. You did forget to, didn't you?
I did. Jazz Singh, $5. I'm here.
Oh, great.
Always will be. Thanks,
Thank
Jazz.
you, Jazz. Thank you very much. Great to see him here.
There's another one. Claudio Rogogen for $5. You know the New Age superheroes in the Kingdom Come comic, designed by Alex Ross, was an international bashing of 90s character designs like Rob Liefeld's. I don't know or not know that. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I will say this. It's very easy to do something that you mean to be a bash and people just like it. And, you know, you have to, like, I'm sure for Alex, if he felt like it was a bash, because I don't know. So I'm not, you know, I don't want to say, but people loved it. And then you just basically have to accept that. I'm sure he does. I am almost done, but let me just, you know.
So I'm going to restart your comments.
Okay.
Dave got your feet, Meredith. That's Nick from Detroit.
Sure, there's a huge statue, all this stuff, and
holy cow, says Charlie Parks. Bro, I hear it's like $3,000. I hear that's true.
Yeah, I think it's sold out too. Actually, I know it is.
Out.
Yeah, it's been sold out for a long time.
Epic Supersonico, Epic Diorama, Sam Reeves. That's all one statue. Wow. Keytopia. That's the XM Dio. Nice scale, says Jordan Seward.
Yeah, they did an incredible job. I don't think it's actually shipped out
Sheldon
yet either.
Martin. Wow, that's incredible. And Klaatu Barato Nikto. I expected bigger. You built it up. Anthony G. Holy Moses, that's awesome.
Maybe I did build it up.
Ross Klein, wow. I mean, it's you know, it's the size of a toddler.
And it is really heavy.
Don't break it, Dave, says Charlie Parks.
You know, it wouldn't be a big deal. I just glue it back together. I've got a bunch of statues back there. They're all glued together in some form or other. I've actually got a falcon statue. And his wing is taped on. It's the worst. I broke it and I taped it back on. It's not even glued.
Drum Mayor Jay says, Meredith, come on, behave. It's just 500 minutes, and then this drawing is done.
So close. I mean, like, really, I could pull up stakes at any time, but it's not ready. Give me a second. I'm really doing my best.
I know. Oh, got a good amount of Christmas shopping done. I know people want to hear about Christmas shopping. It's all online this year. The thing is, though, I've been online Christmas shopping for a long time. Before online Christmas shopping was like...
You were the OG.
De rigueur because of the pandemic.
That was great French. De rigueur.
It was good.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know how to say it either, but I wouldn't try and pull that out.
Well, you're not me.
No.
That's why I'm over here and you're over there. And every French person on the stream is cringing, and that's okay. Rike Ingles 123 says Meredith, Dave counts time in dog years, and that's why it takes so long.
Everybody's agreeing with you right now. I'm taking too long.
That's what's happening. People are bailing. They're like, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, it's getting late. I am just about. Okay, you know what? A couple more lines. 1, 2, a few more. All right, I think. Oh, you know what? Here. I know.
Michael Barlotta says, thanks for reading and liking my research paper on you, Dave, and thanks for saying it was well written, Meredith. Michael did his term paper on David. He tried to interview David, but this was before Meredith got back in charge of Dave's email. So
I'm sorry, Michael.
But I think actually, because I read it, I think Michael's, and you read it too, right?
Yeah.
But I think we both agree that Michael's term paper turned out better for not interviewing.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but fair enough.
You said it, not me.
Well, yeah, you're saying it here.
Yeah. Claudio Rogojan, $5. I think Alex said he was just poking fun at it a little bit. He wasn't the biggest fan of the really extreme style of the 90s. More traditionalist.
Yeah, well, he's definitely a much more realistic artist. And I do find there is a certain amount of disdain that people have for stylized things when they work in a more realistic, more grounded style. I don't agree with that attitude personally, but I understand where they're coming from. Especially when that kind of stuff is very, very popular and you feel like it's not as serious, I guess. I don't know. I've never felt that way. I always try to be like totally, positive and nice, all that, but I'm an image artist and I know what it's like to spend years and years having people say, oh, you're 90s, whatever, and and kind of not take you seriously. And so I'm a little sensitive, but
Oh, Andy Park's on here.
Really?
Yeah.
Andy
Park art. Awesome as usual, Dave. You too good.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you for coming by. I mentioned it just earlier on, but for those of you that don't know, Andy Park is the most important person in Marvel Studios. He's the head of visual development, and that means that everything that you see that comes from all the greatest movies from Marvel is all first envisioned by Andy and his whole team of artists. And I have known Andy for
Top Cow days.
25 years. I mean, a long time. 24, long time. Yeah, he worked on
your picture while you're talking.
I did actually. That's all the way zoomed out. Yeah, on Tomb Raider. And then he was gone for a little while, and next thing you know, he's like the most I would say arguably the most influential, important artist working in pop culture today. And he's also just a great guy. So thank you so much for coming, Andy. I really appreciate it.
All right. That was a great way to end the stream.
Yeah, really. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So yeah.
And Eric post Andy Park's YouTube channel because Eric is the man.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
absolutely.
Eric. You're so like you just mentioned it and Eric just like bling, pulls it out of thin air.
Wow, that's really great. Yeah. So I'm going to mention quickly, once again, we have Meredith's Light Princess and the Book of Ruth available at Cave Studios Publishing, Cave Pictures Publishing. Link is in the description. And my Red Sonja.
Red Sonja, get it
Indiegogo,
it's gone.
Right. And so, and that's what this stream here was all about, on Red Sonja. So anyway, hopefully give it a try if you're a fan of Red Sonja. And if you're not, it's
and the cat's making her appearance late tonight too.
Yeah, actually really late. So yes, please, check it out and support us on that. We'd really, really appreciate it. It means a lot that you're here with us. And I hope you guys all have a great week. And we will see you next week, same time, same place.
Different character.
Yes, and I should have my next video out this week.
Applause,
right. And yeah, thanks to
just stop.
Thanks to Andy Park, and thanks to Yuri for coming by, and all of you for spending your night with us. All right, I'm going to stop. Meredith's getting mad.
All right. Hey, everybody.
Good night.